Central District is now no stranger to SANFL finals, capturing the trophy 5 times in the past 6 years. But in 2006, the road appears rockier and steeper. The Bulldogs finished the minor round in 3rd place, and while nobody would dare write them off as a spent force, Roy Laird knows he's got a fight ahead of him.
We saw North Adelaide 2 weeks ago. The Eagles have beaten us twice. Both Port and South have beaten us easily at different stages. So, you know, it's a long 4 weeks. You need a bit of luck. You need a bit of injuries going your way, but you do need to play strong 4-quarter footy.
The Bulldogs come up against the new flag bearers of free-flowing football. Andrew Jarman enjoys celebrity status as the Roosters coach, and he's determined to take North Adelaide all the way.
We're just going to go in there and have some fun and throw the ball around and play with some real pride and passion with the jumper.
It's the qualifying final, North Adelaide against Central District.
Yes, North Adelaide securing their first double chance since 1992, and for Central's, well, minor premiers 5 years in a row, this season 3rd.
Yeah, they're still a great team, but are we seeing the emergence of the new powerhouse in North Adelaide?
You just wonder, don't you, as we look over time, and we can see that Centrals have, in fact, got ahead of North over time, which is quite interesting, really, because there's not too many clubs, given Central's early stages from 1964 to around 1970. They did struggle a bit.
But yes, the last 6 years, as we've seen, they've been the powerhouse, winning 5 flags there and winning many of the games.
Down to Mark Soderstrom on the boundary, and Soder's a little bit of disturbing news for the Roosters.
There is a little bit. In fact, Andrew Jarman said during the week he will not take injured players into a final. So for that reason, Chris Laddam's out of the side. He rolled his ankle during the week. Also, Coops, Ivans and Hargraves all not playing. They didn't recover from last week's match. Coming into the side, a debut in a final, Josh Cubillo. He'll be wearing number 37. He played in the under-18 competition for Northern Territory this year and won the medal. Did very well. Tough nut. He looks good. He'll be playing around the half-back line when he comes onto the ground. And when we look at the Roosters, well, they don't have a great record in recent times against Central District.
Oh, look, Centrals have physically bashed us for about 10 years now. And the pleasing thing for our group was 2 weeks ago is that we erased some demons against a fantastic footy club in Central. So that gave us a lot of confidence, and that's what we'll go into Sunday's game with.
Hargraves, Coops, Laddams and Ivans out of the side. That does change the makeup of the team drastically, I think. But still, they're a pretty strong team. You look at, you've got Hudson in ruck there. They've still got great runners, still got Gill up forward. Alloway's been impressive, so they're still going to be hard to beat.
So there's a bit of a contrast from the Roosters with Centrals.
Yeah, Central have brought some big guns back. They put these 3 players in cotton wool last week against West Adelaide. How's this for names here? Richie Cochran, Daniel Schell and James Gowans. 3 premiership stars coming back to the side. The big problem for Central Districts this year is just putting 4 quarters together in the one game.
Yeah, look, probably through consistency has been a factor for us throughout the year and also in games themselves. We've had good periods in games, but not often enough. To beat sides like North Adelaide today, we need to fire up for a full 4 quarters.
Yes, Cochran, Gowans and Schell in. They're big names in, and certainly the Centrals look pretty balanced there. They do rely on Schell kicking many of the goals, but we're set for a great game of footy.
Absolutely, and here's the first bounce with Michael Maney.
Qualifying final at the Adelaide Oval. North Adelaide and Central District. Central with a proud history in the last 5 or 6 years of winning finals. Ben Hudson gets the first knockdown of the qualifying final. Chris Gowans goes in hard. And the umpire calls for it.
Thank you.
Let's go to Mark.
Well, we've heard from the coaches. Now time to hear from the captains. And with North Adelaide, Jar said a couple of weeks ago, you cannot respect North Adelaide till they beat the top teams, Central and Woodville West Orange. Well, they beat Central 2 weeks ago.
Ball just a half forward. Bamford's in there along with Ware. James Gowan squeezes a kick out. In goes O'Sullivan. Has been terrific for them this year. Taken to the line. Boundary throw in. Good start to this qualifying final, Chiggy. Interesting to see how they match up.
Okay, well, O'Sullivan is a great little player too, who'll cause plenty of problems up there. He's had a fantastic year for Central.
Ball the object, boys. No blocking off the ball.
Umpire screaming out instructions. Hudson just missed that one. Howard takes it to the line. So another boundary throw in. Let's go to Mark again.
Hey, Michael, let's try it a second time. Now, we did hear from the coaches. Let's hear from the captains. Now, Central Districts did lose to North Adelaide last week. Now North Adelaide are the real deal, so Jar says.
Yeah, all trained this week. We trained here Wednesday night and had a run last night as well, and all trained. All look pretty fresh. I think the week off was more of a refresher for them rather than missing through injury. So they look sharp and, yeah, hopefully turn it on today.
Now, back to round 22 a fortnight ago, you went down by 2 points to North Adelaide. They were a long way up in that last term. You fought back well. You take some encouragement from that effort?
Oh, look, they were fantastic in that third quarter. They got their hands on the footy and ran, and look, they're a very good side, and today should suit them. But again, yeah, we know we'll never give in. The Central Districts Footy Club, so we know that if we turn it on from the start, we'll match North and any side.
Paul Thomas there, the acting captain of the Central District Football Club. Here's Clint Alloway. Loads up a long kick. A good work by Quentin Graham. Bit of talk about Quentin Graham this year, that he's going to retire. But he's certainly back and running, fully fit for the Doggies. Got it. Handball over the top. Lee Westhoff got a good bounce. Can't get through a couple of tacklers. Well done, Curry. He'll have to use Slade. Then went to Ware. Ware just feeds it back to Slade. Just a standing start. Just a wobbly old ball. Out comes Cowan. Everyone get out of his way. Lays it off to James Gowans, to Mussolino, who got a call from Swatala. Swatala spears the kick to Shell. That's the Central District we know of.
It's been a pretty slow start to the game, really. It hasn't had that final intensity that you would expect, but Central certainly controlling the footy at the moment. Shell is the danger man up forward. He leads hard. If he gets a goal early, he usually can be pretty dangerous. If he misses early, he can be pretty inaccurate.
No excuses on a day like today. Daniel Shell from 40. Goal umpire doesn't move. Will it be his day? You're spot on, Nick. If he snags one early, it's look out for that defence of North Adelaide. Let's go back down to Mark.
Well, the Roosters had a good win against Central Districts a fortnight ago, and now their captain, Darryl Wintle, knows from what Andrew Jarman said they are the real deal.
I think we've gained some respect from Centrals over the last couple of weeks from beating them at Elizabeth, so no one beat them there this year, so we've taken a bit of momentum out of that, and hopefully the same sticks today.
Just on that game a couple of weeks ago, 37 points up you guys were halfway through that last term. They got within 2 points. Have you had a good look at that?
Yeah, we had a look at the last 10 minutes, worked out that our clearances in the middle were pretty average, so we'll just have to stick to our game plan, and hopefully the same result comes today.
The ball with Central District at half-back through Swatala. Swatala going wide, looking for James Gowans. Ball knocked away. Uni with the tackle on Thomas. We'll get a throw in front of the famous Victor Richardson gates out there on the outer side of the Adelaide Oval, in front of the chapel stands. Magnificent afternoon, pretty warm. Certainly, I think it took its toll in the elimination final on Port Adelaide and indeed South Adelaide. Here's Bamford looking for Alloway. Ball carried them and went to Graham. Graham steadies, can go on, can play on, can even take a bounce. He's got so much room. North Adelaide fell away from him. Graham then kicks long. Coulter judged it best, but Ware was quick to the ball. He released the hand pass just after Westhoff. Westhoff's kick was appalling, but it was lucky. It fell to Thomas. His kick wasn't all that good either. North Adelaide had numbers there briefly, and now crashing in was Ware. Ball comes to Krieg, former Central's player, and it's out of bounds. This is starting to get to the intensity we expected, but it's been slow to start. Andrew Jarman there in the box, arms crossed, just taking it all in.
Pretty relaxed, Jars, isn't he, at this stage of the game?
Hudson fighting on there for North on the ground. And huge bandage on his leg as we look at the Central's box with Roy Laird. Just thinking about what might unfold. O'Sullivan taken to ground. Ball caught in Schubert, taken to ground. Umpire lets it all go, and then he'll blow the whistle and say, I'll have a go.
My ball again, he got the handball away, he got the handball away. My ball, let him go, let him go.
Finally having to surrender the ball. Players have finished their little bit of push and shove, and they'll start again.
Umpire Doddridge with the zinc cream on today. Taken by Howard. The players that have sunscreen on today, Daniel Ebert to Krieg. Good running by McIntyre, then back to Ebert. Schooler just floating kick man behind play. Well done by Richard Cockburn. Mussolino can't get it. Quick hands by Wintle. Opportunity for the Roosters. Walker's kick. Here's Campbell. He's got pace. He tries to screw it back. He's missed it, just squeezed it in for a behind.
North certainly want to be trying to get that run happening, starting to use each other with their hand pass and that. On the other hand, Centrals will be trying to hold it back, keep it in tight and hard.
Succeeded in some ways thus far. We've just touching on 7 minutes of this game and just the 2 scoring shots, one apiece. Minor score to North Adelaide. Centrals have the goal. Here's Slade. Drives it up high. Coming in was Cowan, making the contest and benefited with the high shot over the shoulder. Cowan will take the free kick for Centrals. And he just belts it long. Here comes Shell, and he had it all the way against McIntyre. Judged it superbly. It was a very good kick from Cowan. And an open forward line.
Yeah, that's the key, the open forward line. Out in front of him, he's got fantastic hands. Daniel Shell, when he's leading hard. Lovely kick by Cowan, getting it in long and quick. To the advantage of Shell, who just had to take an easy mark in the end.
Jump onto it, not over it, jump onto the mark.
Here's Cowan, the shot from over in the chapel stands. He leaves it right, or does he? Right on the goal umpire. He sets a goal. So Centrals have the first 2 of the afternoon.
Both for Daniel Shell, so it's setting up for a good day for Daniel Shell. You mentioned if he gets his confidence up early, he's a hard man to stop. McIntyre certainly want to be trying to get on top of him early, playing really close to him, not giving him room to run and lead and take those good marks when he jumps at the footy.
Daniel Shell kicked a bag full of goals in the state game here at the Adelaide Oval earlier this year. Might have snagged half a dozen. Does like playing here. Back in the centre, Schooler. Down to O'Sullivan. This comes to a halt in the centre of this wonderful ground, the Adelaide Oval. If you can't play football here, you want to give it away. It's a magnificent venue. Hudson and Schooler. That will be intriguing as the day goes on. Howard just thumps it forward. The feeling North Adelaide need a quick one. They'll get a free kick here. It'll be Kingsley Walker with the footy. In the centre circle. Called the play on. Got under the kick a bit. Gill! Just buffeted Sibanala out of the way. Legally, said the umpire. And Nick Gill, who's had his problems with injury this year, hasn't really quite been able to get up and running. He has booted 39 goals before today. He is a star. Big surprise in last year's Magarey. Runner-up to Jeremy Clayton. He's got a good piece of that. North Adelaide are on the board through Nick Gill, and they pull it back to 5 points.
Yeah, he's the sort of play. You get it in quick to him. He can cause a lot of damage as well. You've got Shell at one end and Gill at the other. Both very athletic players. You see good grab there by Gill. Just pushing his player out underneath it. And strong hands. He's good when it hits the ground as well. He's very athletic. He can cause some problems up there. On a day like today, it's going to be a marking forwards day.
Throwing it up, boys. Not going to be anywhere near as high as the bouncing either, so just throwing it up.
Here we go again with Schooler opposed to Hudson. Uni came out of it briefly, got one in the back. Take the free kick. No, he won't. He'll be booked for releasing the ball incorrectly. Now it's down to Thomas, and Centrals will go forward. Here's Ware, lightning pace. Couldn't get away. Ball in tight. We'll get a ball up.
High ball, boys. Don't let each other up.
5 the margin in favour of the Bulldogs. This season slightly worse in their attack, down 2 points on average across the 23 minor rounds. And the defence conceding 11 points more than last season, as Howard taken to ground. Umpire says we'll have another ball up. Compare that with the attack of North Adelaide, which is 26 points better off this season than last. The defence is 12 points worse. Now, tackle coming in there on Martin. Had to release it. get the ball in on the half-forward right for Centrals. Not much room to move there, was there? Ball hurled in. Hudson thumped it down. Now Wintle, immediately claimed by McCabe. Best on ground in last year's grand final, Luke McCabe. He'll get up and they'll give the ball up to the umpire. Slow start. 11 minutes in, not a lot of pressure, not a lot of scoring.
Central's just sort of trying to lock it down, as we were saying, giving North no room, and that's the way to beat them. If you give them room and let them use the footy, they can carve you up pretty quickly.
Howard tries to get through. Krieg, who got it from Martin. Bouncing ball. Pumped away by Sibanala. Off and running O'Sullivan. Just keeps it close to the boundary. Slade takes a tumble. Boundary throw-in has been played mainly on the opposite side of the ground. Good knock away by Daniel Ebert. Played his 100th game earlier this season. Good clubman. Over the back. Hudson couldn't grab it. Swatala held without the football. Advantage rule paid. O'Sullivan looks for Shell. Flicks over the back to Coulter. Needs to be clean. Just gets away with a good bit of pace. His non-preferred kick is okay. Chopped off by Westbrook. He was looking for Riswick. Riswick took his man out of the contest. Howard. Back to Krieg. Bouncing ball. Mussolino. This is Wilson. Wilson's been terrific for them, but that kick is out of bounds on the full. I think I might have said Westbrook a minute ago. It was Westhoff. And Slade just handing the ball back to Alloway. Led Alloway in a good purple patch of form. The kick just carries the pack. Mussolino there. Will love to see it to the line, and does. Boundary throw in, 13.5 gone. Central's 12, North 7. Hasn't been awe-inspiring so far, Chiggy.
No, it hasn't. As we've said, North haven't been able to get it clear, and that's how they like playing their footy. Alloway, that was a lovely long kick, so you can see that breeze still must be pretty strong out there, being able to carry the football.
Ruck work done by Gill and Schooler, but it just comes to a stalemate again. Darryl Wintle, the last man to get up. Schooler got the tap away. O'Sullivan, he's got a bit of work to do, but he's a pretty tricky player. Over the top to Mussolino. Wants to use his skipper in Thomas. Thomas's kick was touched. Westhoff squeezes it down the line. Was that 15? Interesting. Slade got it away to Wilson.
Wilson can run through half-back under pressure, but he gets the ball down to half-forward. Howard falling across James Gowans, knocking it out of bounds. Good work from Dean Howard. Great move to swap from Westies this season to go to North Adelaide. Hudson slipped out the hand pass just as well. He took it out of the ruck contest.
No, he got the handball. Yeah, but he got the handball.
Umpire just confirming that. You're hearing there. Tony Day, I think it might be. It is Tony Day confirming. He got the handball. Now Schooler opposed to Hudson again, who works his way to the front. Central with the numbers though. Curry slipped the ball forward. Here's Coulter, former reserves McGarry medalist, knocked it to the advantage of Riswick. He was taken by Ware. Umpire calls for it.
Benny Hudson just
half back for North Adelaide. Sorry, Siders.
Yes, Benny Hudson just having a spell for North Adelaide. Big Brett O'Hara, the former Eagle, on.
Ball knocked down. O'Sullivan taken to ground. Holding the man was the ruling. And O'Sullivan will take the free kick. Chad O'Sullivan, you wonder how he'll go with distance here into what breeze there is. And it is actually a fair breeze. I shouldn't say what breeze there is. So he's looking up and wondering if he can get a lead from somebody. There's a couple offered. Ware was one of them. And in the end, he's called to play on. He tries to run around Gatto, who does well. Now the ball's just high, and that's just catching practice in the schoolyard. Gatto puts out an arm, and now he goes away from half-back. Down for Walker. Mussolino tried to get a foot to it. He couldn't, and that was too high. It'll be a free kick. Cochrane, the offender. Martin to take the free kick. He's away quickly. Off to his captain, Wintle. Oh, and he's run down by Chris Gowans. Away they go. That'll lift Centrals. Mussolino to half forward for Ware. Oh no, the battle continues between the half-back lines.
Coulter just finds his man on the outer side. Short kick, spots up Krieg. Krieg got it away to Wintle. Wintle kicks it inside 50, Alloway, had it knocked away by Sibanala. Well done, Sibanala. Just keeps the ball in front of him. Campbell's there. Taking your hat off, Yves Sibanala. Terrific work to get that ball to the boundary line. Boundary throw in. 12 plays 7. Centrals with a couple of goals from Daniel Shell early. Thomas working hard. Krieg's got him. Another ball up. Gee, it's a game of inches at the moment, Chiggy. 17 minutes gone and we've just had 3 goals kicked.
Very scraggy sort of footy at the moment. It's just how Centrals will be liking it. They don't care how it's played as long as they get the result in the end. And they're certainly clogging it in for North Adelaide at the minute.
Buckets McKenzie can't get there. Alloway can. He's got the ball away into the pocket. Campbell just off the boot of Mussolino. Some young fans there. And you wouldn't want to bet that that might be something to do with Daniel Ebert, that young lady.
You'd think so. Number 21 on the back.
Stewie Cochrane just coming onto the ground. Elijah Ware coming off for a spell, and Shane Schubert just giving Elijah Ware a little bit of attention as he comes off.
Stewie Cochrane's been on the Tour de France, been on the bike ever since the first bounce. Gowans finds, or tries to find the line, and just somehow got through. And there's young Kubalo, just the man taking a drink, just on screen, number 37, the late inclusion. Mark Soderson spoke about him before the game. Good young player. O'Hara knocked it down. Kubalo, as if on cue, at the bottom of that pack, and we'll have another ball up.
Michael, just on Josh Cubillo, we did mention that he did play in the under-18 competition for Northern Territory, but he did play for North Adelaide during the pre-season against the Northern Territory rep side, and he's come through the under-17s at Prospect, so doing very well to debut in the final.
A lot of players around the ball. Riswick released it. Wintle did well, held it in. No, he didn't. A bit of push and shove with Stuart Cochrane there.
And Cubillo did have the first kick of the game for North Adelaide today.
So O'Hara and McKenzie. The backup ruck. They go at it. Falls to Riswick. This time his hand pass was in front of Uni. Uni inside 50. Reading it best was Wilson. He comes wide with a hand pass for Thomas, who's got space now. Wheels around on the right leg. Down the line he goes. Schubert opposed to Cowan. Good match up that one. Schubert now will get a possession. He goes to the centre of the ground, and Howard breaks the tackle. Howard goes for a run. He ran a long way. Umpire let him. Goes into half forward with the kick. Out it comes to Howard again. Wanted to use his left foot again. This time he decides to use the left foot. Goes in long. Good for Gill. Good over the back. Gill got pushed. He'll get a free kick. Kingsley Walker kicked the goal anyway, but it'll have to come back. And Nick Gill will take the free kick. It's against McKenzie for pushing from the front without eyes on the ball.
Lovely kick by Howard there to the advantage of Gill. Just over-kicked it so Gill could go back onto it. Gill lining up for his second, so it'll be Gill 2, Shell 2.
And it will be North Adelaide in front. But then again, you never know with Nick Gill. He's only 10 metres out. I don't want to put any doubt in it. Well, he did make the goal umpire do some work, but eventually it was a goal, and North Adelaide is in front by just 1 point.
Well, they are kicking with the aid of that breeze that we've spoken about. But Nick Gill, dangerous play. See Howard there. He saw Gill pushing back into the square, so he had to get the distance over the top to play to his advantage. Gill didn't hold the mark, but got paid the free kick for a push. Went back and kicked the goal.
Sensational player, Nick Gill. 41 goals for the season after that one. 41 goals, 34. And has missed a bit of football with injury, so he's had a pretty good year despite his injury woes. A few woes for the boundary umpire trying to collect the football in Mogridge.
Yeah, I just remember earlier this year I saw Nick Gill kick 6 goals in 12 minutes here against Sturt on a Friday night.
This year?
Yeah, he played one of the games of the year, kicked 9 for the game.
It's something ridiculous like 18 marks and 15 were contested.
Certainly didn't help Toby Thurston's cause to get back in the power that night.
No, one of his best years, Toby. Out of the centre, O'Hara. On hands and knees, Martin. Kicks it in, looking for Gill again. Can't take it over the back. Opportunity for Thomas. Working hard, uses Sibanala. Sibanala with a short kick, and that's a terrible one. Uni normally hurts you. Well done, Mackenzie calls the turnover. Just a bit of body contact, and Slade may just get pinged for that.
Not in SANFL footy.
Gee, where was he going, Chiggy?
Exactly where he went, I think, the boundary line. But he got away with it.
1 point the difference in favour of the Roosters. Mackenzie down beautifully to Slade, who keeps it in the arena. Gowans, tackled by Howard. This is James Gowans taken to ground. A couple of real roughheads there in James Gowans.
Absolutely, and North aren't renowned for their hard physical football, but Dan Howard certainly is.
Well, he's given them plenty of that. McCabe. Wobbly ball, Westhoff. Justin Westhoff not playing as that hand injury. Good kick, Gatto. Here's O'Sullivan. We know he's dangerous. Can he get round Gatto? Oh, lovely work. O'Sullivan, and he shoots for goal and misses. Oh, could have capped it off with something brilliant there.
Did it very well. Got around Gatto and had an open shot at goal. Straightened up beautifully. Should have finished off better. He's had a fair bit of the footy early, O'Sullivan, though. He's been good for Centrals.
23 minutes ticked over in the opening quarter. Scores a level. Not a lot of scoring, though. 2-1 apiece. So Sullivan at the front. Now it comes to McCabe, shortest of kicks. On his left foot, Westhoff. Question of accuracy. No problems. And Centrals have the lead.
Great finish there by Lee Westhoff. Gives Centrals the lead again. Just chipping away at it. Centrals working hard. Not a pretty game of footy at this stage. O'Sullivan there again. Nearly got the football. Got it across there to Westhoff, who finished off with a goal. Central's doing it pretty well at the moment going into this breeze. They'll be pretty happy where they are. That was McCabe, I think, who got it across to Westhoff there.
Smart play by Luke McCabe.
Michael, good work by Roy Laird putting Westhoff up forward. He's kicked 7 goals against North Adelaide this year before today's game.
Yeah, he's in pretty good goal-kicking form. Paul Thomas gets a free kick. He hasn't been in good goal-kicking form. Paul Thomas has kicked just the 6 behinds this year. So he's kicked 1 goal. Going to be technical. Thomas's kick. James Gowans just lost the football, and well, the umpire's giving him a free kick. He'd be happy about that. Short one to McCabe. McCabe just gets under the kick a bit. It floats into the pocket. Shell stumbles. Ball thumped away. Swatala just hooks it back. Maybe a chance. Free kick to Cochrane. Holding on. Marginal at best. Chiggy talking through it if we get a replay.
As I said, there didn't seem to be a lot of holding there, especially playing it right in front of goals, but umpire obviously saw something there. Smart kick by Swatala, I think it was, head of the square. Certainly the arms are around there, but yeah, going to be costly.
Stuart Cochrane hasn't booted a goal this year. Before right now, his first goal of the season comes at a pretty good time in a final for the Doggies. They're out by 2 goals.
Yeah, read the footy beautifully off the pack there. Smart kick to the head of the square. Wasn't sure who was there. It was Cochrane on 1 against 3 or 4, so they only needed the football to get to the ground, North Adelaide. Didn't have to hold the player as such, so not good play by North Adelaide. Stuart Cochrane finished off with a goal.
Lee Riswick, 32, down in the bottom of screen there, the offender, 12 points to margin. So Cochrane playing on centre wing. O'Hara out of the ruck. Cochrane will get a bad bounce this time. Riswick via the left foot, inside forward 50. There's Richard Cochrane. He's taken the ground. Martin over the top. Umpire says, I'll have it. Ticking on 26 minutes in this opening quarter. Shouldn't have thought it would be a long quarter. There has been a lot of stoppages, but not a lot of goals, of course. The McKenzie got it down. Curry was in there trying to escape with the ball. There was no chance. Chris Gowans, ever complaining to the umpire, said he thought he got one high. Just a real lull in the crowd after that great elimination final. You've just joined us, South Adelaide getting through by 16 points over Port Adelaide. Magnificent second half from the Panthers. That's wide. And did it go out? No, it didn't go out on the full. O'Hara came over the top and got it away from Sibanala right in that interchange area.
Central dominating possession 68 to 47. Being in front has given them 8 frees to 3.
O'Hara just laid it down. James Gowans took advantage. Elijah Ware tried to read it. Daniel Ebert came and knocked it away. Now Krieg couldn't get the kick away. Chris Gowans with the tackle. And the push after the event. And Krieg, a former Bulldog himself, just having a go. And if you take one Gowans on, you take them both. Stuart Cochran slipped a hand pass to O'Sullivan. The long kick inside forward 50. Schubert gave it quickly to Coulter. They're on the break. Out in front of Ryswick. We know he's quick. Wilson read it best. Ryswick will come in on him. Ryswick tries to get him away from the ball. Wilson comes again. It's in tight and we'll get another ball up inside the centre square. They'll be delighted with that, the Bulldogs, because North was away.
27, nearly 28 minutes gone, first term. The Dogs have outplayed the Roosters in this first term. O'Sullivan, too far for Cowan. Daniel Ebert with some work to do. Slade with the pressure. Boundary throw in.
Chad O'Sullivan, 7 kicks and a handball.
It's been wonderful so far. O'Sullivan just looks dangerous whenever he gets it, Nick, doesn't he?
He certainly does. When North looked dangerous, as it was that last passage of play, to hold it up their half-forward line.
Cowan does the ruck work. Gatto. High floating ball. Sibanala. Mussolino needs to stand up in a final. Wilson. Stellar season for him. Just punches it looking for Swatala. Just inside the field of play. Adam Swatala having one of his best years at the Dogs this year. Kicks looking for Shell. He's got it. No mark. Schubert at the back. Krieg. The kick needs to be good for Daniel Ebert. It is. They play risky run-on football, North Adelaide. Evidence there. Ryswick over the top to Bamford. Bamford with pace. Cochran looked like he's on the treadmill trying to catch Bamford. Just out in front of Alloway. The ball will just roll out of bounds, and the big man had plenty of stride in, so too Big Buckets was at the tongue hanging out in that chase too. It's been pretty hot in Adelaide today. Where's the candles jars? We haven't seen any candles, so if a bit hot in the coach's box for candles maybe.
Shane Edwards just coming onto the ground here for North Adelaide, a kid with plenty of talent, and back last week into the side, 6 tackles, so very hard at it.
Young Edwards, his father Greg, kicked a century of goals for Central District. So he's well acquainted with the Bulldogs. Free kick now to Chris Gowans. Sends it across the face of goal to Sibanala. Swatala the next in the chain. Gatto comes late and effectively knocking the ball over the line. So they switch play to no avail. We've still gone 30 minutes, even though there's not high scoring. So I guess that is all the stoppages, remembering the clock is stopped every time umpire comes in to bounce the ball.
Both got each other.
O'Hara had the better of it, perhaps. Gatto released it. Walker was pounced on in the back. He'll take a free kick. I wonder with the breeze, what's Walker's distance like? Lots of experience in the WAFL.
Perfect where you are.
Well, we've seen the breeze carry the footy pretty well today, so you'd imagine distance shouldn't be too bad. Central will be a bit disappointed if North can pull a late goal here. They've worked really hard to hold it in tight and not let North run with the footy and get goals.
Here's the reverse angle. With 12 points the margin, Walker with 135 games of WAFL experience sets it up on the breeze, and it's across the goal for the minor score.
As we saw, got the distance easy enough there with that breeze behind it. It's still pretty strong, even though, as we've seen even in the game previous, the northern end seems to be the scoring end going into the breeze.
No doubt about that. Just finding it quite easy to score at either end. Thomas's high kick, floating up with Sibanala. Quick hands O'Hara for a big man. Alloway tries to push off. Got it to Howard, who's taken to the line. Another boundary throw in.
Michael, worth noting too, the breeze has died down a little bit since that first match, but clearly still favouring the right of screen.
Thanks, Mark. Mark Soderstrom on the boundary line. O'Hara down to Bamford. He just threw himself at the football. Another scrimmage, another stoppage. Centrals wouldn't mind this.
They'll be loving it. They're not giving North any space whatsoever or any time to get rid of the football, and they're doing it brilliantly at the moment, Centrals. Whether you can maintain it all day in these conditions, that's going to be the key.
Well, Port Adelaide couldn't keep up the pressure in the elimination final, and it was a South Adelaide team that just come away. Free kick for a throw, goes to Wintle.
That's it now, that's it.
32 minutes gone in the first term, and we've had 6 goals kicked. Wintle's kick, looking for Uni. But Brad Curry, they just keep on finding players who can stand up in finals, and Curry, a premiership player last year, chips out wide and finds James Gowans to Wilson. Marcelino uses the left boot, which is his natural foot, finds Ware. Elijah goes down the line. No one can take the mark. Shell was on that lead. Schubert got it away to the young man in Kubelow. Or Kubillo, I'll get it right in a minute, Sodas. Here's Howard, over the top, handball, chopped off by Gowans. Buckets McKenzie, standing start, looking for Lee Westhoff. Tries to get around Coulter, and he ran out of real estate. Boundary throw in. 33 minutes gone in the first term, and it is an 11-point lead to the Doggies.
We've had plenty of boundary throw-ins and throw-ups, haven't we? So you can see how it's slogging it down and not letting the ball run.
Have credited 26 hit-outs already, so there must have been a lot of dead ball situations.
Well, that ball died in the ruck contest. Slade slipped the hand pass, and the kick from Hayes well and truly out on the full.
Remembering Andrew Hayes grew up with a rugby background, so perhaps not a lot of practice on the wrong side as a youngster.
They got him out of Sydney, didn't they?
Yeah, boy from Balmain, same club as Nathan Toomey, who played quite well for South Adelaide in the earlier game.
They go forward, Chet. Just sideways.
Now, anyway, Gatto bringing the ball in down this grandstand side and floating out on the full. And I don't know that Gowans would have been too happy with that. Just collected by O'Hara. So at quarter time, advantage Central District. It's 4-1-25 Centrals. North Adelaide 2-2-14. The margin there, 11 points in favour of the Dogs. And now here's Michael Money with the first bounce of the second term.
Second quarter of the qualifying final. North Adelaide and Central. Centrals lead the contest by 11 points. A good first quarter by them. Stalemate in the middle. And a secondary bounce. Paul Schooler and Ben Hudson have had a terrific duel in the ruck. Hudson got the better of that tap down. Thomas has been prominent, so too O'Sullivan in that first turn. The Dogs will kick with the breeze in this second term. Schubert gets around a couple. Good work by Schubert, just backed himself. Then booted high, and Schooler's going to be the man. How is he below his knees? Not too good. Sibanala taken by Alloway. Umpire doesn't reward him. That is Alloway. Schooler to Thomas. This game's been played pretty close in. McCabe's wobbly old ball looking for Shell. McIntyre, the youngster with a big job ahead of him. Good enough to get it to Coulter. Coulter's kick just off a step, looking for Riswick. Well done, Cochrane. Cochrane has booted one, loads up, and Schubert just gets to the line to knock it through. That would have been a brilliant start to the second term by the Doggies.
Schubert did well there, pushing back hard. Cochrane lining up for his second goal there. Schubert did well.
Coulter taking his time. Taking a long time, and eventually bail out comes this side for Hudson. Took the mark, chest mark, virtually unopposed. In the end, 70 from goal, and that's his worst kick possible. Just floated off the foot and out of bounds on the full. Swatala in the interchange gate area. Quickly into James Gowans. Takes, breaks, drives long. Good contest. Over the back it comes. Hudson should get it. And he decides just to rush it through. Big man was a little unsure. So he took the safety first option.
I think he's letting him know too. But not real happy with it, Big Ben Hudson.
Yes, Mark.
Yes, just at that quarter-time break there, Roy Laird implored his ruckman Paul Schooler to be very physical against Hudson. He wants him to work really hard there. And he praised the boys, 20 tackles that term. That's above their target. They had 67 to 31 tackles against North in round 6. And Andrew Jarman also had plenty to say.
Good. Mix it up, mix it up. All right, but just keep working, keep working. Got a good game on here. All right, real good. Pressure was excellent, but silly free kicks again. That's going to hurt us, all right? Silly free kicks. Stay disciplined, though. Don't panic. We'll just keep chipping away, construct the game, all right? We've got to keep constructing our movements, all right?
Up the voice for a bit, too.
Centre square, 3-2 our way in the centre square clearances. 7-all and 6-3 around the boundary throw-ins, all right? So we've got to tighten up there.
Come on.
Man-on-man footy, all right? So have a little spell.
Big mark by Schooler over the top. Centrals will go in again. Schooler driving along. Shell on the lead. McIntyre got there. Ebert at the back. This is Daniel Ebert. Went for the line off the left foot. Wasn't too bad. Riswick. And that was a good tackle. Just pinned the arms of Matthew Slade and out of bounds. 14 points the margin in favour of the Bulldogs. A grinding effort it's been so far in this match. Here's Howard off the left foot. Swatala read it, knocked it away from Bamford. Coming in, Cabillo mid-air, kicking it up towards Alloway. His hand pass slipped off the hand. Got it to Riswick though, to centre wing. Boy, it's a struggle. Now Martin, lovely hand pass to Walker. Good off the left foot. Great kick for Uni. Plays on, almost run down. Uni away to the right with a kick. Minor score.
You're right, Neil, when you're calling it a struggle. North will have to work really hard to get that inside 50. Uni found some space, got out there. It wasn't good enough to finish off with the goal. Got to make the most of every opportunity. They're going to be few and far between, I think.
That Breeze taking the ball from left to right, and Uni normally a sharpshooter. Graham told to play on. Goes out wide and just finds McCabe, who wants to go on with it down to Thomas. Paul Thomas been prominent in this game so far, looking for Cowan. Good matchup that between Schubert and Cowan. There's a bit of weight in that contest, a bit of strength. There's Jars. Just like a
there too.
Sunday afternoon. Just, can you order me a Scotch and Coke or something? And
Paul Thomas and James Gowans, top ball getters on the ground with 11. Shadow Sullivan's had 10.
thanks, Ian. Hudson to Gatto, to Krieg, with pace. Down the line to Walker, who started this game pretty well, Kingsley Walker. Different role, normally plays deep in defence across half-back. He's been pushed forward with Hargraves out of this game. Walker needs to stand up. Gill can't take the mark. Thomas with courage to get in the gap and put his body on the line.
It's been good, Thomas. Uni's been going with him, so it's been, you know, a pretty good effort to have so many stats early in the game.
Alloway, just a fresh airy. Martin on the bottom of that pack, and another ball up. Well, the game's been played in slow motion compared to the other game, but I'll tell you what, it's a final, it's tight, it's hard, it's a good contest.
And that's, I suppose, the question still out with North Adelaide come finals, come that pressure and the more physical contact.
Here's Reswick, tries to dribble one through, and just away to the right-hand side. They just seem to be getting their hands on the ball, and that team, going against the breeze, just seems to be able to do the business.
2 goals the margin. Ball falls over the back. James Gowans attacks to Sibonala, to McCabe. inside the centre square. Delivery good for Cowan. Waits for Shell. Shell will come this side. Cowan's delivery was pretty good. And cut out by McIntyre. Nicely done in the end, just slipping in front.
That's how McIntyre like the delivery. Short in front of him there like that. So Shell had to wait for the footy to come onto him.
North just struggling to get away from the grip of Centrals. Hudson knocks it down. Really advantage anybody, and went out over the boundary line again, just on that area, around about 45 metres around from goal, from North's, rather Central's attacking goal. Hudson lays it down. Chris Gowans forces his way through. Now Slade, forced off the ball by Coulter. Nice hand pass there from McIntyre to Gatto. He drops it in short. They've got to be more precise. Somehow that got to Hudson. Hudson's kick second time. Well, he got it just inside the line this time. And Martin was heavily met by Schooler, knocking him over the boundary line. Some of the South Adelaide coaching staff, Robbie Pyman on the extreme right in the white shirt. Trevor Potts, a lot of experience. Trevor Potts as a coach. Was actually at Brighton High School for many years as a teacher. And I'm sure would have come across a couple of talented students. One of them, Bryce Gibbs. All over the line. Get another throw in. Scotty Bamford. Heaps of experience.
Matty Slade just coming off for a spell. The heat really taking its toll, as we've said all day. And little Elijah Ware just on the ball.
You do wonder. You think when you look at the sides, North Adelaide's ability to take and break, which they haven't been able to do yet, across the game, you just wonder if Centrals can keep the lockdown firmly on. Hudson and Schooler negate each other. Schooler's hand pass was loose. Wintle did to Krieg. Schooler down after that last clash, and the ball's out of bounds. And Schooler just taking his time, getting to his feet. Comes down to half back for Centrals. Kenzie and Hayes there on the bench as the ball's thrown in. Schooler got to the front this time. It'll probably go out again. And having said that, behind play is a free kick. No, it is another throw in. Michael, help us out. Get us away from this.
Anyone else want to have a crack? Chiggy, go for it.
It's a tough game at the moment, and the thing with North Adelaide, if they can keep in touch there, we know they can score quickly. So they only need to break free for a half a quarter, and they can blow the game away. So
that's the worry. It's just about put that man to sleep, just for the moment. Darren Jarman just to his right, his brother, Hall of Famer. Elijah Ware emerges from the pack. Good chase by Krieg. Ware kicks forward. Westhoff couldn't take the mark. O'Sullivan, ball close to the line, trickles over. Sean Gatto there on screen, number 33, most underrated player. There's Roy Laird. Coaches taking in plenty of water as well as the players. Searing temperature for football this time of the year, above the 25-degree mark. Up goes Schubert, snagged by Chris Gowans, who's hoping for rain. We need a bit in Adelaide, and that ball might just bring it. Ware, handball across. O'Sullivan got it to Cowan. Cowan's got to use his left. Can't get enough angle on it. Just dropped it the wrong way, Luke Cowan. Couldn't get enough screw on the ball. And the behind.
Again, we see just working the footy forward, having to make the most of every opportunity. There's not a lot of them, but should have done better there, Cowan.
Gone 20 minutes of football since we last saw a goal.
Everything in this quarter, Stewie Cochrane and Slade and Cowan with minor scores, plus a rushed score, and Uni and Riswick with the minor scores for North Adelaide. That one out of bounds on the full, Uni going off the ground. Now they centre it up to James Gowans. Waits. Crowded inside forward 50. Gowans delivery to Shell, couldn't take it. Now Chris Gowans spun in the tackle, got away. Oh, was going to kick it, then he couldn't. Then he wanted a handball, then he dropped it. Now it's taken away by North Adelaide. Howard giving the don't argue to Thomas. Then wide he goes. Great delivery. Walker, they're off and running. Down to Riswick. It's in front of Riswick. Coming at him was Wilson. Wilson takes it over the boundary line. They'll be happy with that result too, because Riswick had 3 or 4 metres and Stewie Cochrane did well, and then that man there, Wilson, came across and shut it off completely.
He's done that 2 or 3 times in the first quarter as well. He's reading the ball very well, Wilson's a quality player.
Wonderful view of that portion of the ground at the Adelaide Oval. Alloway breaks the line, kicks it high, Gill's the target. Snagged by Gill, runs his own ball and snaps a goal. He's kicked all 3 for North Adelaide, Nick Gill. He's been a good target up forward, but just his recovery skills, Nick Chigwin, amazing stuff.
He's a very good player here. You see just a recovery, quick, grabs it, snaps it around the corner beautifully. He's a quality player again. There's no real clean opportunities. That's why a goal like that is just critical. Gill good enough to get it, read it off the pack again for the second time and kick the goal. Certainly needed that North Adelaide. Not going to be able to break clear at this stage, so they've got to make the most of that one like Nick Gill just did there.
Just 3 possessions for Nick Gill, and you can see what's happening with all of them.
7 points the margin. Hudson slips a beautiful hand pass to Howard. Gill on the lead again, and he pulls it in brilliantly. Oh, he doesn't need many opportunities when he's going to use his hands like that. And Howard spot on with the delivery.
Spot on with the delivery, but it was a fantastic take. That's how North like it, out of the centre. Got time to deliver it beautifully, but you watch it, he's flat out taking it, Gill, high above the head, Curry right on his back.
Graham smothers the ball. Now it comes to Riswick. He goes virtually underground. Campbell, was he held? No, he tries to use his pace. Back to Gill. Kick number 5. Oh, it's a wobbly kick, and it just goes into the post. Oh, I thought he was going to just pull something out of his proverbial end.
That passage of play pretty much sums up Nick Gill, doesn't it? He can do the most spectacular thing, then can let you down with a silly possession, kicking into the man on the mark, then nearly kicks a wonderful goal.
It was a good value for money. Brad Curry is at half-back for Centrals. Looks for Chris Gowans, and the ball just trickles out of bounds once again. 14.5 minutes gone. Just the 1 goal in this quarter, kicked by Nick Gill. So it's been an arm wrestle just to drag out a cliche. Both coaches won't mind if they win ugly this afternoon. Wintle to Howard, who's having a marked influence on this game. Over the top, Riswick got a call from Walker. That's intelligent play. Walker's got to squeeze a kick down the line and finds Gill. The man of the moment. When in doubt, go to Gill.
Throws an upward propulsion, not backwards.
And Nick Gill, who's had a real purple patch here at the moment.
It's an upward
The
propulsion.
handball over the top, and there's Riswick. Got a call from Walker. That's good work, Chiggy.
Very good work. Riswick was going to get taken down with the footy there under pressure. North like it in the open.
Nice slips catch to Nick Gill. Can he draw this one back? It's across the face. And misses everything out of bounds on the full. He's given us everything. Sorry, Mark, he's given us everything out on the full. Goal behind. What next? Sodas.
Yes, big Paul Schuller coming off for a spell, and Jason McKenzie into the ruck.
Schuller walking the line, and Mike, he's also given us into the man on the mark.
Yes, forgot about that.
Yeah. The Licorice All Sorts player. The ball kicked long for McKenzie. Well done by Wilson. They've taken the hand pass. Look away by Gowans. McCabe follows up. Just got the ball down the line. Be happy for this one to go out. Maybe not. Here's Elijah Ware. Boy, he's quick. He's much quicker than Schubert, but Schubert corrals him. Does well. Ware. Has he held the ball? Umpire still says play on, and eventually it's out of bounds. Schubert looks inquiringly at the umpire. There's Shane Schubert. Played one game for West Adelaide before going across to North. Here he is. Off half-back. Dangerous kick. Ryswick trying to break away. He was holding, said the umpire. Stewie Cochran, who in the AFL was more known for holding as a tagger, gets the free kick, drops it into Elijah Ware, who had acres of space to work with. Let's have another look. Now, free kick.
Certainly there, that one. Then the quick movement forward to find Ware, probably 20 to 30 metres on his own.
Elijah Ware. Lining up 22 goals he's kicked this season. And he starts it left and it swings away even further for the minor score. So Centrals in this quarter have added 5 behinds.
Been inside 50 more than North Adelaide as well, but as you just mentioned, Neil, not making the most of their opportunities. Elijah would be a bit disappointed with that. He'd normally kick that one.
22 goals, 12 now for Elijah Ware. Kubalo kicks a real wobbler. The helicopter to the wing. Mackenzie looks for Shell on a lead, knocked away. Well done, McIntyre. Daniel Ebert, underground handball intelligently to Coulter, who loves to run and get on that left boot. Coulter down the line and kicks it out of bounds in the full. Or did he run out of bounds back there? No? What's going on down there, Siders? You're having a good hot look at it. A bit of stuff going on off the ball. A free kick to Gowans by the look of it.
Yes, it is. Craig Doddridge there just tapping himself on the bum. God knows what that means in umpires' terms, but it's come back here to Chris Gowans. He's played on and gone inboard, but Craig Doddridge not happy, so Chris Gowans coming back here. We're just got to wait for the ball to come all the way back to the members' wing.
It is one of the things that I've failed to understand. An umpire running along, just tapping himself on the backside. I'm not really sure about that.
Hang on, Michael. I've got the emergency umpire here. I'm going to go and ask him, and I'll give you an answer,
Good
okay?
idea. Sivanala goes long. Ball thumped away by McIntyre. It's a rush behind. I will wait with anticipation on your answer, Mark Soderstrom.
I'll back you to come back with, it means I'm in control of the play at that stage. We'll wait and see.
Let's hope it's something sensible.
I've got an inch. Ball in long by North, 2-on-1. And Howard gets one high, does he? Or is it holding on? We'll wait. No, it wasn't marked by either side.
Hey, Crossy, I've got an answer for you.
Yes?
Yes, the umpires have told me that when an umpire touches himself on the behind, he's actually signalling to the other umpire that they're going to change. So he'll come on and take the decisions in the centre, and he wants the other umpire to the end zone, hence touching himself on the rear end.
Right.
How's that? Is that as clear as mud?
Well, no. It makes a degree of sense. James Gowans having words with the umpires. He has a constant discussion, or maybe it's not a discussion, it's only one way. Ryswick for Daniel Ebert. Down the line he goes. Mussolino comes across and knocks it out of bounds in front of Walker.
Boundary umpires certainly earning their dollars today, aren't they? There's been a lot of boundary throws. Here we go, there we go. James just a bit of a Logie award there too, I think.
Well, there's no academy in that. It was only worth a Logie. Hudson with the big tackle. Chris Gowans coming in to pull him off. But he had the big bear hug on and he keeps hold of Thomas. Benny Hudson. Coming back from a knee reconstruction, of course, this time last year. He hurt it in the AFL in that final against St Kilda. Howard releases the ball forward. Krieg knocks it a little further forward. It is a game of centimetres at the moment. Absolutely. As we... Chad O'Sullivan, former Werribee player, coming across from the VFL, took his time to get accustomed to the pace of SANFL football this season, but he certainly finished on a high. Ball in tight again. Hudson comes out of the pack, gets it inside forward 50. Wilson will want the line, and Campbell takes him across. Very lucky. Should mention, here's a stat for you. If you lose the qualifying final across history, it says only one club, Sturt, in 1976, has gone on to win the premiership. 2 elimination final winners, Norwood and Port Adelaide, have managed to win the premiership. So it's quite a vital match, this one. Certainly it's in tight at the moment.
No doubt about that, Neil, who's up all night working on that one. Hudson's off down there. Looks just a standard ruck change, and Ben Hudson looks spent. So does.
Yes, it is very tough here. We have touched on that today. The conditions are very, very hot. The breeze just picking up again during this second term. It had died down earlier.
Let's hope the football picks up a little bit too. We've had one goal in this quarter, kicked at the 12-minute mark by Nick Gill. There's Ben Hudson with that enormous knee brace on. Good to see him back in football and resurrect his AFL career with the Adelaide Crows. Taken by Slade, who just hacks it forward, and another boundary throw in. Let's have a look at Alloway. Just hurt something there. Could that be a hand or a shoulder? He's got that shoulder strapped heavily. Mackenzie to the front to Chris Gowans. Boundary line will win again. A record for boundary throw-ins. Ian, you keeping a stat on how many boundary throw-ins?
That's certainly where Central's want to thump it, isn't it? They're doing a Sydney type of job here.
Against a side with Sydney colours. Curry squeezes it inside 50. Mark taken by James Gowans. And he's right on the edge of his distance, you'd think. Those hamstrings are starting to shorten up a little bit. Wobbly old kick, but he may have got it home. Lovely kick by James Gowans. And the Bulldogs are back out to a 14-point lead.
Pretty disciplined effort here by Central Districts. Like, it's not attractive football, as we've said, but they're certainly very effective, just closing the game down. See Curry getting it forward there, and Gowans taking a good mark out in front, but it's just playing in front, just chipping away at it, being patient, and knowing that if they can just keep edging away like that, making the most of the opportunities going forward, they'll hurt North Adelaide. North Adelaide will be very frustrated with the style of football at the moment.
James Gowans, top ball getter on the ground, 8 kicks, 6 handballs.
Hold on, North fans. Andrew Jarman's promised to ride. I should point out in the earlier game, Port Adelaide very much early playing finals footy. They got out to 38 points, the margin, 23-minute mark of the second term. They were run down and they lost by 16 to South Adelaide. Will we see a repeat of that in this game?
Jars looks pretty confident there, though. He's not stressing too much, is he? So he knows he'll back his boys in.
O'Hara had the better of it. O'Sullivan roved it. O'Hara tried to put the pressure on. O'Sullivan inside 50. Shell in the middle of the pack. Couldn't pull it to the ground. With the Eberts on in there somewhere. So is Edwards. Taking the ground. And we get another ball up. And Central's edge it another 30, 40 metres closer to goal. Another kick out of the pack, and who knows? Oh, might have another goal. Schooler pushed O'Hara to the ground. Schubert lost it. Slipped out the back. O'Sullivan around the corner. Another snap. Another goal.
Well, it's been interesting. North got a goal early in the quarter. Then it's just been a real slog, just getting the footy forward all the time. Now Centrals have got the last 2 goals in a couple of minutes. O'Sullivan's always dangerous around the goals. Real rover's goal there. Getting it out of the pack and snapping it around over the shoulder. Central Districts pretty happy with how things are going at this stage of the game.
Good quick hands by Andrew Hayes to get it to O'Sullivan. James Gowans has a chat to some of the crowd. And Mark Soderstrom maybe speaking to Soders down there. We'll go to him in a minute.
Yeah, Jimmy Gowans just said, I'm just doing it on one knee and I'm doing it all right, aren't I?
Ball hacked forward. Wilson. Swatala tried to get it to Cochrane. Richard Martin is taken in the tackle. Campbell, that's a clever kick, not 15. Play on Walker. High left footer. No free kick to Gill. Was he being held on to? All he claims he is. Has a real crack at the umpire. That ball's gone out of bounds on the full. Adrian Wilson with the free kick. 20 points the difference in favour of the reigning premiers, Central District, who've lost an amazing amount of players. Hopwood, Hay, Arnott, Bellows, Symes, Steinburner, Healy, Hearn. They've replaced them and they're playing in a qualifying final. Here's one of the youngsters stepping up, Mussolino. Kicks looking for Hayes, another youngster. Over the back to a veteran in Slade, to a youngster in Ware. Ware kicks looking for Schooler. Can't take the mark. Schubert did all right. He's got to get rid of it now. Does so. Got it to Ricky Ebert. Like the look of this player. Ebert's kick to half back to a one-on-one. But McIntyre, who stood up at half back for the Roosters, takes the mark.
Goes long and high to centre wing. O'Hara knocks it away. Mussolino at the crumb, and now Shell, and now O'Sullivan looks inside 50, sets it up. Schooler, the big target, got the palm up. Ebert roved it. Ricky to brother Brett, or rather cousin Brett. However, it might be brother Daniel who took that ball over the line in the end. Central forcing forward again. O'Hara and Schooler. Schooler got to the front, palmed it down. Schubert the look away hand pass. Ricky Ebert down the line, out on the full. Was really under pressure then. Probably should have taken the bump, you think, Nick?
Well, yeah, he should have certainly tried to get the footy along the ground anyway. It was going to be always pretty tough, especially when you got Gowan's boys coming at you at 100 mile an hour. So the young fella, you can probably give him the benefit of the doubt.
Chris looks up, waits. There'll be a lead sooner or later. Decides to set it up for the fly. Hands in the middle, and Pack might have been Shell. North Adelaide get it away. Still in play somehow. Now Campbell can take a bounce. He took a risk. Now to Ebert. Ricky Ebert off half back. Down a half forward to Walker. Good mark. Walker looks up. Open forward line. Very open forward line. There were a couple of leads on. He chose not to go to Ryswick the first time. Now he goes over the back. Punched away by the Central's defenders. Sibonala pushed off the ball by Alloway. Alloway comes away. Great finish by the big man. Used his strength. Got the Central's player away from the ball, and a good finish.
Certainly a player that's got to stand up a little bit more. He's got his first goal. He's a very mobile big man and can be a great target for him through centre half forward there. Hasn't given a lot today, but the style of game hasn't lended itself to it either, really. It's been pretty hard, not a lot of free-flowing footy. If they can get it and use it through him, he's a pretty dangerous player and can be pretty damaging.
No question about that. Dean Howard's looking for an ice vest, I would assume. He's worked hard today. Back to 14 points. A late goal here for North would really take them into half-time with some confidence. Over the back, Curry, first to get there. Wintle just buffets him off the football. You know Wintle will be clever here. Curry's got him, though. He will not give in, Brad Curry. And causes a ball up. Out of the contest there for just a fraction, Curry, but the tackle was terrific.
Michael Roy Laird, one of his favourite things to show the boys is just the courage and the commitment, the 50-50 tackles and the work of Brad Curry, and we see it highlighted there beautifully.
No doubt about that. They're going to have to work pretty hard to secure a win here still. Here's Edwards over the top looking for Walker, but he runs out of space. And another ball in. 30.5 minutes gone in the second term. O'Hara in the ruck. Good shot of this. Different angle. In the attacking zone for North Adelaide. Kicking to left of screen. Here's Edwards. Clever enough to get away. Handball over the top. Or free kick, surely. It'll go to Martin. Well, he's put his body on the line on every occasion he's been near the football, this young man. He wants to play for this Roosters outfit. He's got a shot on goal from about 30 metres out, 35 metres out on a slight angle.
Pretty important kick for the young fella too. North Adelaide get this going with the last couple of goals into half-time. Certainly gives them a boost of confidence.
He's an ex-Central District junior playing for North Adelaide. Wobbly old kick. Oh, Gill. That That would have been a miracle goal. Has it gone out of bounds on the full? It's a behind. Goodness me. Well, he's shown us everything, the number 25, hasn't he?
He's a beauty to watch, isn't he? He's certainly the most excitement in the game at this stage anyway. Get the footy near him. Look at that. It would have been unbelievable.
Quick thinker.
Oh, every time we say he's given us everything, he comes up with something more spectacular. Here's O'Sullivan. Can't be much time left in the quarter. Schooler down to half forward. High for Cowan. Punched away by Coulter. Brilliantly done by Hayes. Hand pass for Sibanala. Back to Hayes from 60. Approaches 50. Goes long and direct. Boy, that hurts the Roosters. Great finish by Hayes. Great transition by Central District.
Yes, North have worked really hard to get those 2 late goals. Then Hayes coming back and getting a goal there late in the quarter. Sorry, Hayes getting it across, just kept running. Central's running it through the midfield there well. A lovely long kick. Finished off with a goal. So Central's doing everything right at the moment. Making it very hard for North Adelaide, then making the most of it when they go forward.
You've got to take your hat off to Roy Laird, who can develop players. He's just got an ability to be able to develop players and turn them into good league footballers. Taken by Schooler, who pumps them inside 50 again. Here's Slade. Will he wobble it through? Schubert is there to take the mark. Schubert called the play on. Has got Gatto in a mile of space on the outer side. Just get the feeling North Adelaide need another goal. Ebert Daniel squeezes the kick down and finds Edwards, who's been lively without having too many possessions. Fresh-faced young man. Edwards goes with a good punching kick, looking for Uni, but over the back, Schooler. Over the top of O'Hara, I should say. That's a lovely grab. Hayes, who kicked the last goal, is caught by Campbell. Got rid of it. Crowd don't like it. Spills to Sutala. To Slade, who goes toward Cowan, who hasn't had much of an influence on this game. Here comes Wilson. He's at a bounce. He'll have a couple of bounces. Ignores the lead from McKenzie. Goes it alone and kicks a beauty. He celebrates. Adrian Wilson. A player down behind play.
Coulter.
It's Josh Coulter. Thanks, Neil. Wilson celebrates a wonderful goal as he runs to half back. But Coulter is in all sorts of trouble, and the trainers look like they are very concerned for him.
Well, he's got an elbow in the face there or something, did he?
In the temple, in the ear or something.
Still down, doesn't look like. I think we call him from the stretcher.
This is pretty ugly for Josh Coulter. He is in all sorts of bother. And he hasn't taken his hand off the left-hand side of his head there.
Whether it's a temple or a cheekbone or a jaw or something around there. So looks like he's in a bad way anyway. I don't think we'll be seeing a lot of him today.
So Craig Parry, isn't it, who got him, broke his jaw, wasn't it, a couple of years ago when he was playing at Centrals, and Parry was at Port Adelaide. So late in the second term, O'Sullivan out of the middle again, going back with Schubert, did well, knocked it towards the boundary line. Following it up was Chris Gowans. He won't get there in time. 25 points, the margin's been stretched to 35.5-minute quarter.
Is this game going in a similar way to the elimination final? As Josh Coulter looks sick and sorry because an amazing comeback by South Adelaide in their first game.
O'Hara knocks it outside 50 and outside the boundary line.
Well, Centrals have been very disciplined, and at this stage you can't see North breaking it open. The North have got to try to get the footy just into open space and start running onto it. They've got to try something because at this stage Centrals have been very successful in closing it down.
Oh, and they've been able to open it up at the right times too. There's another one for O'Sullivan. No. Just away to the left and just before the siren. So at half-time, Central District have shown the way. 88-56, a 26-point lead over North Adelaide. for 6:30.
Yeah, Central's, we've said they've shut it down very well, but you mentioned just before they have been great when they've had opportunities coming inside 50 as well. As you can see there, Shell's kicked a couple, then we've got singles to Westhoff, Sullivan, Cochrane, Hayes and Wilson. Gill, the main man up forward for North Adelaide with 3. Alloway's the man who needs to get into the game.
Stats in many ways very even, but certainly the disposals dominated in terms of effectiveness by Centrals.
And the inside 50s there as well. You can see Central's dominating that as well.
Soda's very tight, very tough game.
Certainly has been. A couple of injury problems. Alloway just hurt his shoulder, but he recovered well. We saw him kick that goal moments ago. Josh Coulter. Now, this is a terrible knock to the head. He's been in the wars, missed a lot of football this year with osteitis pubis, came back. He's been playing about the last 6 weeks. Hurt his shoulder against Port Adelaide last week. And this clash here, you can see he's been hit. Fair bit of trouble there. As he's trying to walk from the ground, you can see his feet start to buckle, the knees a little bit there. They eventually got him through the interchange gate, so he can return if he is okay. But I'd say at the moment they'll go down. They'll assess him and make sure that he's okay, but I doubt very much whether we'll see Josh Coulter for the rest of this game.
And that will be disappointing for North Adelaide. 26 points, the margin in favour of Centrals at half-time. Here's Michael Maney to start the third quarter.
Umpire Craig Doddridge holds the ball aloft for the second half of the qualifying final. North Adelaide trail by 26 points over Central District, who have been outstanding in the first half of football. They've gone inside 50 34 times to 22, so they've had a clear advantage. Free kick goes to Slade. Is it coming back to Matthew Slade for a high one? Just got a clip on the way through. Slade told to play on, gets the kick away hurriedly. Schubert in best position, couldn't quite drag it down. Chris Gowans goes to ground. In there is Krieg. And another ball up. Another inside 50 for the Dogs.
Seems to have started how we finished here, doesn't it? It's pretty tight again. Central's getting inside 50 early.
And there's Hayes on the boundary line. Loose ball. Over the top, free kick will go to Gowans. This is Chris Gowans. The free kick just outside his attacking 50. Shell on a lead. Good kick, lace out by Gowans. They do use the ball pretty well, the Twins. And Daniel Shell booted 2 in the first quarter. Goalless in the second. He loves that end of the ground and is lining up goal number 3. This would put a dagger in the heart of North Adelaide if he's to spear it through. Daniel Shell, a Ken Farmer medalist. From 45, lays back and drills a goal. What a way for the Dogs to start the second half. Crowd love it, the mighty Bulldog Army. And you've got to praise their supporters. They stick through thick and thin.
See Gowans, a beautiful leg. They're out in front of Shell again. He's a great leader. He leads hard and fast, and he's got great hands on him as well. Today he's kicking certainly on song. He's got 3 goals there. So he's been pretty impressive, Shell up forward. That sort of summed up Centrals. They just edged it forward. Gowans got to the bottom in front of the pack, got a free kick, then found Shell. They've just done it so well today. Not attractive, but very effective.
So the margin 32 points. North Adelaide's going to have to do some scoring in a hurry. Wintle, you heard the umpire. Not 15, drives it in long. Gill trying to get over the back. And now it's caught in under 2 players, so we'll get a ball up. Cabillo just changing the boots over there. No evidence of taping on those ankles, a rarity in modern football not to have your ankles taped. Wilson trying to break his way through. Now Slade, now Wilson again. Hunting the ball, diving in there. Umpire calls play on. Get a ball up on 50.
Just need a spark, North, don't they? They need Campbell or a Bamford, who's been very quiet to come into the game. They certainly need a spark there.
Throwing his foot at the ball there, McCabe. Now Westhoff. He did the same. They just got it 40 metres forward. Now, nice hand pass by McCabe. Well weighted. Slade. Went to Thomas. Thomas belted long. Hudson in best position, waiting for it. The little man O'Sullivan came over the top, knocked it away. Now it's with Ricky Ebert. He tries to dance around. He's shut down quickly. O'Sullivan can go over the top. Gowans going forward, and Chris Gowans takes the mark. That was just 15, that kick.
I think you're right when you said just. Chris Gowans, you imagine he likes kick and go. He'll go back and have a shot from here. Again, just Central's hunting in packs there. Turned over from Ebert, and then a smart little kick by O'Sullivan. He's been a good player today.
Interesting footwork by Chris Gowans there. Trying to hold off the approach of Krieg. So from about 35 metres, 45-degree angle, he kicks a minor score.
Yes, North. I'll be trying to play on quickly. Winchell's got it there. They need to try something. They need to take some chances. This is a game they've got to win. So at this stage, it's been pretty stagnant and pretty stop-start for them.
Bamford for just possession number 3 in this game. He has been well down. Averages around about 20-odd possessions, Scott Bamford. He needs to lift. Walker, who's been a good player. And Bamford get another stat. He might want to get rid of this. McCabe just got him. Martin threw out the handball to Ebert. Howard, the tackling by the Dogs has been relentless. Daniel Ebert got it to Riswick. Back to Krieg. Just a standing old start and just kicked it forward. Over the back. No free kick. Campbell off the ground. North just don't seem to have any answer up forward. They just hack the ball inside 50. Don't look. Not much system in their play today.
Ball in quickly to Thomas. In the shade of the stand, he comes across for Ware. Looks up towards half forward, sets it for Cowan. Schubert slips in front, coming back Hudson. And it was a free kick in any case for Schubert. Cowan over the shoulder. Schubert takes his time. Central's flooding back. There's nobody behind Schubert as he tries to look up for a target. That's why he can't find a target. There's no risks either. They won't want to switch the play. Turned over by Centrals. Now, Cochrane has only got one person in front of him. It's Shell. He goes to Shell. It's knocked away from him, and Schubert looked like he was taken high by Chris Gowans, who was an angry, well, older man now, and now gives away 25.
So this is where North, though, they've got to get back off the mark and then try to look for a play on. It hasn't worked for them at this stage, but if they don't try that, they've got no chance of running it out of defence against Central. Sorry.
Schubert to Nick Gill, who's had to push up a fair way to get this football right in the centre of the ground. Got under the kick. Couple of Central boys spoil each other. Matthew Slade, hack out of there. Ben Hudson, caught. Well done, Wilson. Martin got the handball away, looking for Campbell. They just haven't had the space they need. Wintle just kicks to the square. But O'Hara couldn't get away from Graham, and Schooler took the relieving mark to Richard Cochrane, whose stats haven't been that big, but he's been pretty good down back. Kick to half back. O'Sullivan with a bit of pace got away from Edwards. Edwards keeps coming. O'Sullivan good enough to get it away to Swatala. Edwards kept on pressuring, and Swatala had to go for the line. Good play by young Edwards. Got a bit of pace and persisted.
For the Doggies, Slade and O'Sullivan have each had 14 kicks and 5 possessions. For North, the leading ball getters are Dean Howard and Shane Schubert. 13.
Our ABC television cameras will go anywhere to get a picture, won't we, Chuggy?
Absolutely, to get the best pictures.
We'll do anything. Hudson knocks it into space. Thomas had to go. Martin's got him. Takes him to ground. Yet another stoppage. 7.5 gone. Dogs with the early goal with Daniel Shell, 1:30 into this term.
And you'd imagine this would be one of the lowest scores North Adelaide have had this season into the third quarter. 4 goals for the game.
Gowans. He got the barest of touches above the shoulder from Krieg, and he takes the free kick. Breaks away. He's kicked down to Cowan. Cowan couldn't take it. Schubert following up on the ground. So was Krieg. No free kick. comes out to Gatto. He's caught. He is caught and pinched for holding the ball. And it'll be McCabe to take the free kick. McCabe waits. Shell doubles back to the goal square. He puts it up high and Shell takes it and he kicks a goal. Oh, the Dogs are marching on. They've had 5 seasons in a row of being minor premiers and haven't even had to bother about this sort of afternoon.
Well, that's right. Normally teams are really worrying about Centrals, but McCabe again gets the kick in long and deep. Shell reads it very well off the back of the pack. Just gives a little nudge there. Plays on quickly. For a moment there, I thought he was going to play on and kick it through the points, but he composed himself and kicked the goal. He's had a good game. It's his 4th goal. Starting to look pretty dangerous up forward, Daniel Shell.
It's almost the Malcolm Blight special.
Oh, remember that one. Out of the centre, Schooler. Doggy's relentless. Gowans couldn't take it, but Dean Howard says, I've had enough of this. We've got to force it forward. Wilson, brilliant tackle by Campbell. He'll be rewarded. Matthew Campbell. Will it be something to spark the Roosters? 38 points down at the moment. Campbell kicks to the long lead of Alloway. Can't quite get there. Bad bounce for a couple of players. Oh, well done by Hayes. Fed the handball out to O'Sullivan. Back to Hayes. Terrific work. Swatala cuts through the centre. On a lead is Shell. Lovely delivery, Adam Swatala. Andrew McIntyre is being shown what it's like to play on a class forward. And Daniel Shell, a clean pair of heels, and delivery is so precise by the Dogs.
Well, he did a pretty good job in the first half, I think, McIntyre, but as you said, delivery's the key there. Not a lot you can do with that delivery.
Daniel Shell for goal number 5 from right on 50. He normally draws them back, but he can't do it on this occasion. Just quickly, Josh Coulter, Mark Soderstrom. You got a report on Josh Coulter, who went off in that second term, looked terrible.
Yes, it certainly did, Michael, and he was in a lot of pain in the rooms at half-time. He has received that knock to the side of the head, just at the upper part of the jawbone. He's going off to the hospital now for some x-rays. Severely and heavily concussed, so certainly his day's over, and the x-rays will determine how much more we see him during these final series.
If you've just joined us, this is fairly innocuous, but this is how Josh Coulter came off second best with a clash with Luke Cowan late in that second term. Just didn't look like there was much in it, but obviously he copped a fair old knock. And ball trapped in centre wing. It's dangerous. 39 points. North Adelaide, they need to get a move on. Here's O'Sullivan. Riswick chasing him. Riswick still chasing him. O'Sullivan wasn't gained on. Goes long to the goal square. Away to the right for the minor score.
Good chase by Riswick there, just putting the pressure on O'Sullivan. He's been a good player all day. Backs himself when he gets the footy and runs. Why wouldn't you? He's got plenty of toe, good skills, but the pressure from Riswick, just enough to make him miss the goal.
Been a bit inaccurate. 1 goal 3. Chad O'Sullivan. Daniel Ebert finds Sean Gatto, who's got Howard in some space at centre-half back to Wintle. Wintle looks and finds Edwards. Edwards now got around James Gowans okay, then bounced the ball, and will he get away a second time? He does. Edwards kicks, looking for and finding his target in Uni. Well, the young man, with an awkward bounce, just about bounced back over his head. It's been pretty dry in Adelaide, so this ground is pretty hard.
Yeah, he's looked pretty impressive, though, I think, Edwards, when he's got the footy. It's been a tough day for a lot of the North guys, but, you know, he didn't panic when he... when the ball didn't bounce right for him. Had to get around Gowans again, who is a hard tackler, so it was a good effort by the young man.
Heath Uni has not kicked a goal today. His team needs this one, and I think he's delivered. Lovely kick from the pocket by Heath Uni. Goal number 41 to him for the season. They need that and a few more from that man if he's to inspire his side. And here's Edwards.
There's that bounce straight back over the shoulder. He didn't panic and then delivered the football beautiful to Uni. Good grab under a bit of pressure there. A much needed goal. They need to string 2 or 3 together now just to get a bit of enthusiasm back in the team and have a bit of a spark.
34 the margin. Heath Uni. Like many North players, they've just struggled to find space this afternoon. Middle the middle, O'Hara, McCabe is prepared to leave it, then decided to take it off to the left foot of Wilson. Down to half forward he goes. Westhoff overran it. Walker tried to get the hand pass away, trapped in there. Get a ball up. Doddridge just puts it up. O'Hara forced to follow up on the ground, and that's out on the full from Krieg. McCabe will take the free kick. Inside forward 50, no lead coming yet from Shell. He's saying just throw it out in front of the goals, 25 from goal, I'll have a leap. He's still saying just put it up there. So eventually McCabe does put it up there. And they come, and Cowan almost took it. Umpire call play on. Cowan did the tackling. Krieg fell into him in the end, or rather Kingsley Walker it was who fell into him.
Set himself really well, Cowan there. Looked like he had it all the way. Just couldn't hold it right to the ground. Unfortunately, didn't take it to Central District.
Here's Krieg, surrounded by two. He went to ground. Umpire called for the ball. Have another bounce.
Good crowd in today. 11,902 people at the Adelaide Oval. Wonderful crowd. James Gowans scoots around. Long handball. Swatala over the top to Ware. Will he snap? It curls back, but not far enough. It's out of bounds on the full. Just think back to round 6 this year. North 9-11-65, Central's 19-19-133. They really do have some sort of a hold over the Roosters, the Bulldogs.
And Michael, that day, Central's beat them with harassment and work around the ball. 67 tackles to 31 back in round 6.
Well, they've shown that today. Nick Gill having to push to half back to get kicks. He's their best forward, their only productive one with 3 goals. Here's another one that could be productive in Alloway. He kicks to Riswick and James Gowans. James Gowans just grabbed it, couldn't get away. Umpire Doddridge says give it to me. There's Lee Riswick, number 32 for the Roosters.
North's 9-11 that day was their lowest score of the season. They're a fair way short of it at the moment.
And it could have been a lot worse for the Roosters because Central District did miss 10 shots from within inside 45 metres, so it could have been a lot more than 68 points.
Matthew Slade off the ground. Cowan couldn't take it. Roving well was Edwards. He's only lightly framed, but he got away. Got it to Gatto. James Gowans pumps it long. Inside to Chell. Oh, goodness me. I think a few of these Central boys should work for Australia Post because they can deliver.
Absolutely. That was a magnificent delivery there by James Gowans. How many times have the Gowans boys put it lace out to Shell over his career? Certainly helps if you're a big marking forward leading hard like that, if the delivery comes like that. Great pass.
There will be no comeback if Daniel Shell can nail this. It's a lovely kick. It's there. I'll make the call at the 17-minute mark of the 3rd term that I don't think the Doggies can be beaten from here.
Well, they're looking very impressive. Shell, that man there, has been very impressive. Again, just this hard work around the footy there. I see O'Sullivan, McCabe, then James Gowans finishes off with the skills as well, but they're just giving North no room at all. And that's Shell's 5th goal, so he's certainly having a day out. And there's still, I think, a few more in him as yet as well.
Also worrying for North Adelaide, their first double chance this afternoon since 1992. They may have to use that double chance, but in their, let me see, last 5 finals campaigns, they've lost the first semi-final, which is perhaps their destiny this year as well, to play in that first semi-final next week against a rampant South Adelaide as they get the ball long, Centrals into the corridor again. Out by McIntyre, off to Edwards, and now it's Bamford. Bamford, they need to take some chances. James Gowans. Noticed in that last passage of play, he did look very tired. Here's Wintle. He goes to centre wing. McIntyre. Ball bounces away from him. He goes and gets it. He's about to be run down. He is run down. Wait on it. There's a free kick anyway, somewhere behind play.
Neil, I can give you some special comments we just got from James Gowan as he left the field. Wintle hasn't had a kick. That's his report at this stage.
obviously hasn't seen the kicks, put it that way. Ball from Slade to centre wing. Shell overran it, a bit far from goal. Krieg down the line. Gill marks it just inside the line. Curry helps him over the line. Slow to his feet, goes over the top quickly. Oh, Swatala met him late, or perhaps on time, but in any case, Bamford will take the free kick. Poor Mark.
No holding!
Goes inside to Howard, off the left foot. Bang from Howard. Gee, that's a good kick off his non-preferred. Maybe that's the spark. 19 minutes, third quarter. Dean Howard, great goal.
Great goal, very much needed. Dean Howard off one step there. Bamford hasn't had a big day at all, very few stats. Howard knew how important it was, and that's the thing, get it and go forward. That's all he's got to do, stop chipping it around there. They needed that goal, and will it spark it? I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a lot of enthusiasm out there. But as we've mentioned, they've got to get the next goal and try to get a bit of a roll on here.
Well, Howard's been pushed back to play the role that Josh Coulter plays, across half-back to be that running man out of defence, with Luke Ivans out of the contest, injured. McKenzie, eyes on the football, big buckets, a little bit quick for Ware. Free kick will go to Krieg, a high tackle. Howard just sweeping across that half-back line, looks for O'Hara, crash. In comes Campbell, got one high, no free kick. O'Hara, good call by Kubalo. He just kicks and kicks poorly, and Sibanala takes the mark. The kick had to be in front of Alloway, just sitting it on top of their head. Just not working at the moment. Sibanala's kick to Westhoff, thumped away by Walker. Curry, big high jump. Cowan, looping handball, high to Swatala. He's had a bounce. Adam Swatala in short to the pocket. Shell too far for him. Probably the first time this year that a kick has missed the lead of Daniel Shell. He went deep into the pocket. There's Jars on the blower.
Michael, just in terms of injuries for North Adelaide, we know Luke Ivans, he's out with a finger, Laddams with an ankle, Hargraves with a back, and Coops with a shoulder. They are all expected to return next week, so that is some good news for the Roosters.
Brett White would be handy out there too if he could get fit. Howard again sweeping from half-back. High left footer, Wilson. He's a star over in Wilson.
He's been fantastic today. How many times has he read the play and just cut that footy coming into the North's forward line?
Delivery to Westhoff. Bamford was going back, took Westhoff away from the ball. Umpire said illegally. Lee Westhoff will take the free kick.
Looks like he's got out of bed.
That's the fashion these days, Michael, as he drives it along to the danger spot. Cowan comes from behind. Ware reaches out a hand, couldn't take it. Cavillo for Bamford. He's running off to Schubert. Schubert has not many targets to go to, I must say. Again, sat it up. It went over Alloway. To the advantage of Sibanala, pulled it in, got away with it. Back he goes to Stuart Cochrane, then on to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan gets brought down by O'Hara, but he got it to McKenzie, and no advantage. It'll come back. It was in the back, according to the umpire. So Chad O'Sullivan will take the free kick. 26 possessions and 7 marks against North Adelaide in round 22. Chad O'Sullivan. This afternoon, Ian Mogridge.
Yep, coming in for his 16th kicks, had 15 and 8.
They go inside 50. The big stretch from Cowan. So Cowan will go back. And you fancy, Chiggy, that the Dogs don't let leads like this go.
No, and North don't look like it at the moment. They're not running, they're not taking the risks. Cowan's looked good up forward. He's pulled in some good marks. Hasn't held on to a couple, but he's looked pretty impressive.
Last season, Central's joined Port Adelaide, Sturt and Norwood as clubs to win 3 premierships in a row. And you fancy they're going to give this year's an awful shake, although that kick was astray, wasn't it?
Yes, they've done it really well. You can see Jarsby a little bit more anxious there than he was in the first half, sitting a little more upright. He knows that he's got to start getting something late in this quarter. Can't rely on the last quarter. They haven't had the run in their legs. They've looked a bit flat, so they need to start building right now.
Daniel Ebert to kick out. Looking for Hudson in the middle of that pack. Over the back, knocked away by Stuart Cochrane. Handball from Chris Gowans to Shell. He lines them up and goes for home and hits the post. 6 goals, the lead.
North have been a bit lucky in this quarter. Centrals probably should have had another 2 or 3 goals, which would have really blown the game right open.
And quickly go to the wing again. Riswick been largely ineffectual this afternoon. Westhoff this time comes away with it. Again, just drives it high. One for the Leapers, and this time it was Hudson, broke away. Hand passes stray. Now it comes to Stuart Cochrane. He's got Shell loose. Shell with heavy legs runs after the ball. Hand pass inside was good. Ware, what's he like? He'll kick this. Elijah Ware lines it up and does it. It is that sort of afternoon if you're a Bulldog.
All class there by Ware. He's got to give it over the top there, but decided to run around the player and finished off with a very nice goal. Great hand pass by Shell. Knew he was under the pump. There you see Ware just step around. Under pretty extreme pressure there. Lovely kick to finish off. Hudson's hand pass out at centre half forward, what set it up there. So obviously under the pressure, always under pressure North Adelaide, so making some pretty poor decisions.
Inside 56 quarter time, 39-16.
That's a shellacking.
Ricky Ebert onto the ground for North Adelaide. He's gone down to half-back to pick up Chrissy Gowans.
Hudson gets the knock away. It's out to 42 points. Stuart Cochrane. A bit of Mussolino. Richard Cochrane, eyes for the football. They're doing everything right, the Dogs. They love September. Shells at the back. Cowan almost barges his way through. Chris Gowans through the eye of an needle. Shoots on goal. Oh, it's a rampage. Who let the Dogs out this afternoon?
Well, you called it about 5 minutes ago. I think you can absolutely call it now. They're certainly all over the top of North Adelaide. And again, the Gowans boys, James and Chris, have both been fantastic today. Just the strength. Comes finals time, that's what you want. Just pushes the player away. Good enough to finish off as well. But in and around the tight, hard footy, Centrals are just absolutely dominated.
Chris Gowans with his first of the afternoon, the margin out to 48 points. And North Adelaide still, I think after today, will never have beaten Central District in a final. Of course, they've only met once before. Here's James Gowans. And Thomas with room to move. Can take another bounce if he likes. He pauses, decides just to kick it long. Hudson, big stretch, couldn't take it. O'Sullivan wrapped up, taken to ground. Followed by Edwards. So Hudson in there with Cowan. Big leap over the top, just knocking it towards the goals. The relentless Dogs. Ball on the ground. All the way. Ebert released it. Somehow it found its way to Ware. Underground pass was brilliant to Westhoff. Westhoff can finish it, he does. Oh, that was quite spectacular from Ware. His vision was excellent. His execution was even better.
Yeah, he's a very dangerous player up forward. The thing about Central Districts, they've got to this position by playing really man-on-man football and then running hard forward. Now they're starting, their confidence is high. They know they've got North Adelaide. They're starting to just back themselves a little bit more. See Ware, he's all class. Knew there wasn't going to be 15, but it opened up. Got Westhoff out on his own. Fantastic finish. This could get pretty ugly if it keeps going this way.
Getting ugly now. 54 points. Lee Westhoff with that hairdo that Neil Cross says is in. Hasn't had the best day, Lee Westhoff, but he snagged a couple of goals. Doggies on the rampage again. Richard Cochrane to Cowan. Oh dear. They can do no wrong. This wonderful side from out Elizabeth Way. Luke Cowan, one of the best pack splitters and markers in the competition. Hasn't booted one, but he'll get on the act in a minute. He joins in the chorus. 7 goals to 2 in this third quarter to split this game in 2.
They'll be certainly making a few other teams that are in the finals a little bit nervous too, I'd say. See how dominant Centrals are here. They got runners. Cowan, a great grab. He's looked good up forward, as we've said, taking some strong marks. Finished off with the goal this time.
This looks like being North's 5th defeat of the season, but of those 5 defeats, assuming this is one, only one of them has been by less than 58 points. So when they get done, they get done.
They get done like a dinner this afternoon. It's 10 goals the margin. You wonder, Chicky, the inclusion, more players to come in next week for North Adelaide, some of their better players to come in. Is it going to be a hindrance, even having had those players not this week for, they've been injured and then they're coming into the team, or is it going to help them?
Well, you'd like to think it's probably going to help from this performance, but because they've been so poor. But they'd be pretty nervous, I'd say, going in against South Adelaide, who showed some pretty good form today.
Well, the ball in tight again, and it's once again inside the Central's forward line. You mentioned losses this season, Moggy. Central's lost 8 games in 2006, which is the same as the last 2 seasons combined. So it hasn't been a standout season in the minor round from the Dogs, but gee whiz, come the major round, they still look very formidable, don't they? Here's Gill at half forward for North, just drives it up long. O'Hara flies, ball to the front, Hayes, now to Wilson, somehow got the foot to the ball. Mussolino, good off his non-preferred foot to Sibonala. Sibonala looks and goes long for James Gowans. Chris Gowans is running for him. That'll be the next man in the chain. Oh, Chris Gowans set up almost. That ball carried a bit too far. Chris Gowans looks up anxiously at Cowan, who came through and collected him. Don't know, well, he's got cramp. That's what it is, Chris Gowans. He's still down on the far side of the ground as we swing to this side of the ground, where running is Kingsley Walker. He gets chopped off. Alloway releases the ball to Cabillo. Cabillo, though, is outnumbered and outmuscled. Now Elijah Ware wants to release the ball forward. Edwards does well in the middle of the dog pack. Gets it over the line. Still the margin. 10 goals, and we're 31 minutes into the third term.
Elijah Ware made his debut this year for Port Adelaide Power in the AFL and acquitted himself pretty well. Howard got it to Uni, lovely kick to Campbell on a good lead in front of Wilson. Wilson has made many mistakes this afternoon. You wouldn't call that one. Siren goes for 3/4 time. Matthew Campbell has a kick to take it back to 54 points, the lead to the Doggies. Campbell kicks a goal. Good way for the Roosters to finish off the third term, but the damage has been done. Jars leaves the box, and they are shell-shocked at the moment, North Adelaide. What a woeful quarter of football for them. Central's 15-13-103, North Adelaide 7-7-49. Goals coming from everywhere. Daniel Shell starting it all off with 3 brilliant goals to start off the term, Chiggy.
He's been fantastic. Andrew Jarman would have to be very disappointed with today's effort. They knew Centrals would come out and play like this. Earlier in the year when they beat North very easily, they played that same style of football, one-on-one, and just made it really tough, hard football for North Adelaide. They knew it would be the same today. North haven't coped with it. It'll be interesting to see how Jarman goes with that now.
So, 3/4 time, 54 points the margin. Time to go for our tipping, and from the last round, round 23, 2 winners. Cheyenne from South Australia, Ian Grundy from Victoria. Congratulations for winning the final round of our tipping competition. Our overall winner, as you see there, as the top 10 is Blue Tirana. And congratulations to Blue Tirana. We're trying to see if that's really the name, or whether that person or he or she has another name. So congratulations to Blue Tirana from Parafield Gardens. We won a couple of double passes to the SANFL Grand Final. The Doggies look good for that, don't they, at the moment? They're 54 points up at 3/4 time in the qualifying final. Here's Michael Maney with the final turn.
Final quarter. For the qualifying final, Hudson and Schooler. Pride on the line for North Adelaide. Hudson kicks pretty high. Alloway being held in contest. Wilson eyes for the football. Takes the mark. The commitment of this Central District team has been exemplary. In a bit of space, here's Chris Gowans. Hauling him in is Edwards. Long kick by Chris Gowans over the back. McIntyre lost his balance for a moment. Gave it off to Walker, who's had to go back. It's been bleeding pretty profusely for the Roosters. Ebert, this is Ricky, in short looking for Dean Howard. Ball chopped off, taken by Stuart Cochrane, just hacked it inside 50. Good hands, Daniel Ebert to Schubert, who's tried hard this afternoon. Ricky Ebert, oh, kick just chopped off. Needs to look at his disposal, Ricky Ebert. Taken by James Gowans to Chris Gowans. They load it up again, the doggies. Ball was touched. Opportunity for Walker. Just got it back to Schubert. Schubert steady. Has got Kubillo on the other side. And he takes the mark, the youngster. Coming in. Goes to his skipper in Wintle. The Central's chant has gone up already. Walker just pushes off from half back. Win the hard ball, said Jars. We may hear from him a little bit later on. He just wants them to go in hard. Ball just knocked out the back. Slade, Graham. Away to James Gowans. Adrian Wilson. They're just playing and toying with them at the moment. Over the top again to Wilson.
He's in a bit of space. He goes down to half forward to McCabe. And McCabe takes a nice mark. 49 from goal. Swings around. Waits. Shell comes on the lead. Good hands. Daniel Shell goes back, and you think the only thing preventing him kicking a goal here might be the sun in his eyes. He's had a good afternoon. Kick 5.
He's had plenty of opportunities. They've been inside 50, 60 times to North Adelaide's 32. So getting plenty of opportunities to hit the footy.
Here's that shot from the Chapel stands. Daniel Shell just sneaks it in for a point. So does three-quarter time. Must have been interesting for both sides.
Well, for Central Districts, the word was just maintain the discipline, don't run forward of the ball, control the game and play it at our pace. That was the word at Central Districts, and they said don't give North Adelaide anything to take out of this game. Well, over at the Rooster Huddle, Shane Collins spoke to the backs. Wintle had the midfielders, Darren Jarman had the forwards. Andrew Jarman didn't have much to say, just a couple of choice words at the end.
You got to walk off. Hey, you got to walk off. You got to walk off with some respect, don't you? Don't you? Hey, just get the hard ball. There you go. Come on.
Inspiring stuff by Andrew Jarman. Schooler. Just a bit of kick to kick between the ruckmen. Ben Hudson.
Wait.
Well, he's played his heart out, Ben Hudson. Probably been one of their best, Chiggy.
Absolutely, he's been good. He's had plenty of the knockouts, taken some big marks and shown a bit of aggression when they've needed someone to stand up. He's been good for North.
Interesting to see what Jars does with Nick Gill. He's looked a bit sore out there, and just think to yourself he may just put him on ice for next week fairly shortly. It's a punishing kick. Richard Cochrane squeezed the kick out. Curry, the handball just out in front of Quentin Graham. Good shepherding by Matthew Slade. They do all the one-percenters. Ricky Ebert doing a one-percenter for the Roosters. Curry, back to Slade. Spearing handball to Schooler. Cochrane didn't look, but might come off okay. Kubillo just knocked it away. Finally got his name right. That's the last quarter. Taken by Campbell. Over to Krieg. The handball back to Bamford. Bamford gets around. Krieg, caught. Got rid of it. Ricky Ebert. Deft bit of work with the feet. Off the ground. Bamford back to Ebert. Chris Gowans has got him. Tackling relentless by the Dogs. Buffeted off the wall was Gill. Howard got it to Wintle. Brick wall. Great tackle by James Gowans, but he'll get a free kick, Wintle, for too high.
Now it's going to Gowans, is it? Yes, it is.
Is it going to Gowans? I thought it was going to Wintle.
No, Gowans, because Wintle came through with the elbow up, I think.
Well spotted, Nick. Fair enough. That's what it was for. Hayes, bit of fancy footwork, but Edwards has got him. Got rid of it. Okay. Quentin Graham. Still a bit of fancy work on the outer side. and then booted it out of bounds on the full.
No,
but
free
it's
kick
come
field.
back.
Free kick downfield.
Nick Gill, the transgressor there.
I think he was annoyed at all the oh no. Yes, it is a free kick downfield. He was annoyed, I think, Nick Gill, by all the showing of the ball and that, and he couldn't help himself.
But North have got to watch themselves here because it's been unravelling for a while. And both teams, I suppose, need to watch themselves. They don't want to get in the umpire's book because Craig Parry in the earlier game has a date with the tribunal during the week.
The ball hurled in. The boundary umpires done a power of work this afternoon. Pretty warm day in Adelaide, starting to cool off now as the sun beginning to go down behind the stands. See the long shadows on the ground. Lights are on here at the Adelaide Oval. 55 points the margin in favour of Centrals. You could say it's good night North. Slade gave a clever hand pass off. Swatala battling against the numbers on the ground. Slade comes again. And he's taken the ground. Comes out to Wilson. Bouncing through the centre square. Wilson's a great kick. He sets it up for Shell. He couldn't take it. Knocked away. Unlikely rover was McKenzie, and the disposal was befitting a ruckman. Just sneaking in for the minor score.
Again, Wilson just so smooth coming through the midfield there. Reads the ball beautifully. The delivery wasn't as good as it normally is from Wilson, but he's been a class act. He's certainly been one of the best players on the ground today.
Jason McKenzie doesn't miss too often. 12 goals, 2 before today. He's doing a bit of roving. Multi-skilling out there. Schooler. No party tricks there. Hands and knees, Hudson. Uses Ricky Ebert. Back to Schubert. Looks for his skipper in Wintle. He's back of the wing. Campbell's got a bit of space in the centre of the ground. Can run and carry. Looks for Gill. Gill just waited for it to bounce. Howard back to Gill. Gill fires off a lovely pass to Alloway. Alloway hasn't had the best of days statistically. 6 kicks and 3 handballs, only a couple of marks for Clint Alloway. It's, I suppose, in fairness to him, delivery, as you mentioned earlier, Chiggy, hasn't been too good for the big man.
Hasn't been brilliant.
Starved of opportunity, but he's got an opportunity here for a goal. Alloway kicks a gun barrel straight kick. Back to 50 points. They need to salvage something out of this final term.
Well, as Charles said at three-quarter time, they've got to walk out and try to gain some respect from this. They've still got another go next week, so they've got to keep working hard and try to get some confidence up. See, the delivery there was better. Gill running over the footy, then getting it back and finding Alloway there. I think, as your question earlier about Gill, I think he's a much better player when they've got Hargraves in the side as well, and he's probably not the key man to go to. He can sort of float across the front and take grabs, so they'll be keen to get him back into the team, Hargraves.
Schooler up high. Chris Cowans was smothered. Hudson getting more and more frustrated. He forced a turnover that time. It's down to half forward. Punch from Hayes was good. Stuart Cochrane's gather was quite brilliant. Curry went wide. He went too wide. Shane Edwards will take the free kick.
What were you on, mate?
So he looks up inside forward 50, waits. Gill on the lead. Sits it up for Gill. And he gets the hands up there. It comes to the front. Campbell couldn't handle it. Graham did well. Breaks away. Content to use the outside of his foot to Slade. Slade looks down the line for Cowan. It'll get to Cowan. He'll slide in. He has had some problems with injury this season, has Luke Cowan, but he's in form and fit at the right time of the year. McKenzie, he's in pretty good nick as well. He'll look up forward now and wait for the lead from Shell. McCabe tried to block for him, and McCabe instead takes the mark. Oh, the veteran, best on ground in last year's grand final. 138 games with Hawthorn before he was able to make his debut with his original club, Central District.
He's got plenty of options out forward, haven't they? If it's not Shell, it's McKenzie. If it's not, it's this young man here now, McCabe.
In he comes. The reverse angle shows it clearly. Another goal to the Doggies. They're on the march to another second semi-final. And another appointment with those Eagles.
Yes, which I'm sure the Eagles will be looking forward to, but they'll be a little bit nervous about as well. I'm sure McCabe's glad I called him young, because he's probably one of the oldest players on the ground out there. But he's been good for Centrals this year, been a very good player. Went back and kicked the goal. It's his first goal for the day. Always does the hard things. Epitomises what Central Districts is all about, and has been today.
He is the oldest player out there at 31, Chiggy. 56 points, the difference. Centrals have been right on the money, right from the word go. Wintle fed it out to Bamford, who's been unproductive at best. Howard. Curry. Howard takes him to ground. Ball just squirts out. A lot of tired players out there. A lot of heavy legs, and North just haven't looked sharp today.
They haven't at all. They haven't given anything today. Not one stage of the game you think North have a chance to run away with it here. Centrals have held it in very well all day. Very disciplined effort. Very disciplined, no question about that. Uni can't get through, and will he get a push? Well, they don't normally pay those. This game is dead and buried, and Heath Uni's kicked one. Get a chance to pull it back to 50. There's Stewie Cochran coming off. He's done a pretty good job, Sodas.
He has done a very good job. He's well, one of the veterans as well. You can see he's got that right hamstring well bandaged. He's had hamstring problems all year, like his brother Richie. And coming onto the ground, Lee Westhoff, who's been pretty good today as well.
Heath Uni has no trouble from 40 metres out directly in front. It's too late, she cried. 50 points, the difference. North Adelaide fans on the hill be pretty disappointed with what the club has offered up today.
There's no doubt about that, and I think Centrals have certainly taken the foot off the pedal to a certain degree. Still working hard, but giving North Adelaide a few opportunities to get some kicks there. You'd think it's probably time for Centrals to look at pulling some of their players off that have got a few sore spots, getting them ready for what will be a big game next week.
Hudson taking it out of the middle, down a half forward. Wilson class, just the one hand enough for Wilson as he goes wide for another classy player in Thomas. Paul Thomas back after a season and 8 games with Essendon. The Gary medalist 2 years ago. Down a half forward, looks for McKenzie. Gave it back to Westhoff. He's a left footer, setters it up high, and they all come and meet it. It came to the front. Kingsley Walker on the ground, grabbed, and will get a ball up 25 from the central goal.
Top ball getters for the Dogs, James Gowans and Matthew Slade have each had 26, and Chad O'Sullivan, who's been resting all his quarters, had 23.
Hudson laid it down. Cowan followed up though to McCabe. McCabe! And he kicks his second of the quarter. He's kicked the last 2 for the Dogs.
And we'll be loving it at the moment out there. They're sort of doing whatever they like. Hudson getting his hand on the football again. As we mentioned, he's done a great job today for North Adelaide without much other support. McCabe, clever kick around the body, and you can see he's pretty happy with that.
Which one's that? Can anyone offer up? Chris, as I just spotted James at half forward.
He had the bandage on the arm. I think that's the difference. One of them is wearing a bandage today.
We'll go for everything we can, Neil, to try and get him off the ground. Inside 50. Dogs go forward again. Daniel Ebert. Not much life left in those legs today. Play on! Shorts it up to Dean Howard, who's just kept on trying. Back to Ebert. Kicks well to Alloway, who gets it to Bamford. He's getting some cheap kicks late in the game. Puts it out in front of Krieg. Lovely kick's got to get Bamford. And Matthew Krieg from right on 50 decides to go in short, and Bamford made some space, and he's marked 45 metres out directly in front.
Some tired players. That's what North would have loved to have been able to do all day. Get that open, flowing football like that. Centrals haven't allowed them. Centrals players are tired. You can see a few down, getting rubs out in the oval now and on the sideline as well. So tired players.
The brothers can compare notes as Bamford just squeezes through his first of the afternoon. And goal number 22 for him for the season. It's back to 50 points.
13 possessions today, but only 2 in the first half.
Come on, Craig.
Top ball getters for North, Dean Howard 23 and Shane Schubert 22.
Bamford certainly requires that open flowing game to get on the end of some good hard football and then run and carry the football into the North forward lines. Hasn't been able to do that today because there hasn't been any free-flowing footy.
A margin oscillating between 50 and 56 points. It's back to 50 at the moment. No matter how you read it, it's been a dog of a day for the Roosters. Hudson got it down to Howard. Probably the two best players for North this afternoon, Hudson and Howard. They've really tried. Uni slipping through the gap. Got it to Gill. Gill got it wide. Alloway gathers it, pushes off one. They're just being forced backwards and eventually they turn it over. Ware's away. Nobody running with him. Delivery was perfect for Cowan. Ware follows up. Ball slightly behind him. Takes it, slaps it on the boot. He went for the torp, I think. Got it inside 50. Should have been taken by Shell. Now it's in dispute. McIntyre clears the ball out wide for Bamford. And the boundary line will win out in that little match race. Halfway through the last quarter. 50 points the margin in favour of the Bulldogs, the defending premiers. Let's have a look at this. Oh, daylight robbery. Elijah Ware showing how to do it. Ball down towards at 50. Ebert against the flow. Daniel Ebert, that one is. Out there, a couple of Gowans. One Westhoff, maybe Justin Westhoff will be back in a few weeks, Sodas.
Yes, he could be. He's had a problem with the hand. I think he's about a week away, so he'll could take the field next week, possibly.
The Dogs have hounded the Roosters this afternoon. Edwards to McIntyre to Ricky Ebert, who's got a bit of space. Amazing how space opens up when a game's dead. Howard. Good kick out in front of Gill. Graham's done pretty well on him. Krieg back to Gill. Normally does something spectacular, and that's a good kick to Alloway, who just couldn't quite get there. Sibanala taken by Krieg, and that's dropping the ball. Hats off to the umpires. I think they've done a pretty good job, the umpires, today.
Well, it hasn't been an easy game to umpire. It's been so tight and so many ball-ups, so I think you're right. I think they've done a good job.
Well done, Matthew Krieg. Crossed over a couple of seasons ago from the Dogs, was just a fringe player. He's given it off to Bamford. Bamford full of run. It's a high kick to the square. Ball thumped away by McKenzie. Roving by Campbell on the non-preferred. He kicks his second goal of the afternoon, and it's back to 44 points, the difference.
And as they kick that goal, we saw Daniel Shell coming from the ground. He's probably had his day. Schooler will go up forward there now. Lovely long kick there from Bamford. That's what he does so well. Read beautifully from Campbell off the front of the pack. As you mentioned, Michael, certainly the game's dead and buried, so opened up. Some cheap kicks coming in now.
Mentioned the number of times that Centrals were minor premiers. Their last final at the Adelaide Oval was way, way back. 1972 preliminary final. They lost to Port Adelaide by 6 points. Oh, this is a new era, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. And actually, 1972, Port Adelaide went on to lose the grand final to North Adelaide. McIntyre it was, deep in defence, taking the mark. Drops it into Bamford, as you said before, I think, Michael, full of run. Out wide for Uni. At half back, looks up, goes long for Alloway. Falls to the back, Sibanala, taken down. Two number 50s come together, Ware and Edwards, two young men finding their way in the football world. Ware a little bit more advanced, he's on Port Adelaide's AFL list. McKenzie palms it down, Wintle got a foot to it. Alloway slapped it forward, Hayes over it, took it in. What did the umpire think? He said, I think I'll take it for another ball up. Ball up, probably, what are we at? 60 or 70 in this match? Easily, I would have thought. Curry couldn't get a foot to it, got a knee to it. Now he follows up. Still holding on. Wintle taken down as well. Chad O'Sullivan, the tackler there. Oh dear, it's just a rolling wrestling maul, isn't it? Just to finish the day, there's the odd bit of skill being shown, but it really is counting down time. 44 points the margin in favour of the Dogs. They will win the qualifying final. Of that, we've been sure for some time.
No doubt about that. I think all both teams have to do is keep out of the way of the umpire's book and also injury. So sometimes we can a fairly free-flowing last quarter. Martin in the centre. Gill will fly. Wilson at the front. Has been outstanding, Wilson. Just keeps getting the ball. The back. Sivanala. Away to Slade. Just got around his opponent in Cubillo. Slade, what a wonderful player he is. Have a direct target to go. But Swatala spent a bit of time on the bench here and there. They've rotated pretty well, the Dogs. A kick by Swatala. Was looking for Schooler, but Sherbert's been pretty good back there. Shane Sherbert, Chiggy, he's had a fair bit to do.
He's been kept busy with the amount of inside 50, 67 to Centrals now.
Unbelievable. Edwards finds Hudson. Cruising past his Wintle. Curry still chasing hard. That's not a good kick by the skipper. We know that he can hit targets from just about anywhere, Darryl Wintle, but it's been one of his best afternoons, that's for sure. Curry. Back to Mackenzie. Haven't had a passenger, the Dogs, as Mackenzie goes to Cowan. Cowan's got to watch himself too. He's been a bit fragile this year. Lovely handball by Uni to Campbell. Thomas chasing. Campbell sets it up for Alloway. He should mark. He can't. In fact, it's Howard. The umpire will pay a free kick to Dean Howard. He'll go back. And look at his second goal. Kick one in the third quarter.
He made contact with him around.
There you go. He made contact with him.
No, you've got to turn around, mate.
Great chase by Thomas out here on the wing, though, after the North Adelaide players. Game's finished, but he still chased hard. Howard kicks the goal. Not going to have a major impact on the result, though, but I think that just highlighted what Central's mentality is, just working so hard. Here we see Thomas just working hard, just to try to put pressure on the North player going forward. Game's over, but certainly still doing the hard thing, Central District players at the moment.
Dean Howard. Dean Howard's given it everything today. 13 kicks, 13 handballs.
Well, since the 13-minute mark, 3 goals to North Adelaide, 3 in a row. Reduced the margin back to 38 points. I don't know if that quite equals the respect that Andrew Jarman was looking for. Here's O'Sullivan. He got to his feet and was immediately met by O'Hara. Get another ball up. I got $1 for every time we said that today. Again, nicely done by North Adelaide. Campbell bursts away. Haven't seen much of that this afternoon. Looking for Gatto in the forward pocket. Mussolino did well. Wilson over the line. And so was the ball. Central's 117. They've been stagnant since the 13-minute mark of this quarter. North Adelaide 79. Ticked over 24 minutes into this final quarter. Graham backheeled the ball. O'Sullivan broke away. Got to the 50. Just the dodge inside Wintle. Takes his time. Hand past McCabe. And now Graham cruising past. Graham goes for Cowan. Oh, gee. The Centrals fans will be rubbing their hands together seeing Luke Cowan in this sort of form. He goes long. Sivanala at the back. Oh, he's got an opportunity. He's got better than an opportunity. He's got a goal. Yves Sivanala, his second goal of the year, and he hasn't had a miss. So there you go. What a goal kicker. The defender runs down the ground and snaps a beauty.
Read it beautifully over the back of the pack. That's the age-old mistake, letting the ball across the back. The North players had to bring it forward. And then I see Chris Gowans hurt a hip there, I think, so looked a bit tender coming up from that. Still on the ground, tough lad, he'll be all right. But Sivanala finish up with a great goal.
Rewarded for an outstanding game in defence, Eve Sivanala.
Runs in the family. His father was named in the Gawler team of the century earlier this year.
Ian Mogridge with yet another stat to astound us on ABC television football. High kick, Gill flies, takes the mark. Really does set himself well for a high mark, Nick Gill. He'll kick from 45 metres out directly in front. Kicked the first 3 goals for his club in this final and was on fire early, but just hasn't been able to get the delivery. And had the opportunity close to goal. He's been forced to work a long, long way away from goal. Gill's kick is coming around. He's popped it through for goal number 4. Not a bad return for Nick Gill, who's continued to work very hard. He's played his heart out today.
He certainly has. He had a great start to the game, as you mentioned, and looked very dangerous going forward. Then the supply really was cut, and he didn't get a lot of opportunities, but he's great in the air, takes good marks. He'll bounce back from this and have, he's, you know, 4 goals in what's been a pretty tough day for North Adelaide. He's certainly done his job.
He's taken 9 marks and had 15 kicks, no handballs.
Andrew Jarman, I wonder if that was recorded earlier. It seems like he hasn't moved today, although you can tell the difference. He's got the glasses off now. Certainly wouldn't be happy with this performance. And coming up against Robbie Pyman's South Adelaide outfit, full of running this afternoon, and they'll be full of confidence going into next week in the first semi-final. Ebert opposed to Cochrane. Ball into the centre. Swatala. Ebert comes again, but Richie Cochrane got the kick away for O'Sullivan. Punched out by Cabillo. A lot of brothers out there, isn't there? The Ebert brothers are out there, the Gowans brothers, the Cochrane brothers. As I said before, the other Westhoff is missing, Justin, and there's a third Westhoff playing in reserves for Centrals as well. Ball knocked in to the Centrals forward line. Well done to Thomas. Thomas, freak goal, no. On the line, mark taken by McIntyre. Walker will clear it away with the long hand pass. This game really opening up in junk time as Edwards almost set up Ebert. Now it comes for Krieg. He's been corralled. That'll be a free kick. Well done by Brad Curry. And Curry gets to his feet gingerly because he, like a lot of players out there, suffering a bit of cramp, I think.
Have a look at that for persistence. Brad Curry may not be the most classy of footballers out there, but she gives 100%. Pumps it long. The target's Cowan. Knocked away by O'Hara. Will it have the legs? Taken through by Matty Campbell. A rush behind to the doggies. Alex Burrows there. It's been a big day, Alex. Have a look at that. He's
looks a bit tired, doesn't he?
Done it tough, the football manager of South Adelaide. Just on the cusp of nodding off in the stand there.
It's seen that I think Rob Pyman was sitting with him earlier.
They've deserted him.
Yeah, they've seen enough. 39 points the margin in favour of Centrals. Very late in this game. 29 minutes ticking over just about. Slade slipped out a hand pass. Away goes Westhoff. Inside 50 high with the kick. And well done, Cabillo. Back in the hole in front of Cowan. That's not easy to do. Brings it to this side to Krieg. Ricky Ebert goes down the line. Alloway runs into that space, so Ebert's left to keep on running as Wintle receives the short pass. Now Wintle goes over the top for Daniel Ebert. He just takes off. And the legs of McCabe just couldn't carry him then. Now here's Campbell. There's still plenty of run in his legs. Inside 50, spearing pass. Finds Sean Gatto. Quentin Graham looked up and said, yeah, I thought I got a fingernail on that. Umpire disagreed, and Gatto will go back and have a shot on goal.
The Sting's certainly out of the game now. The Centrals boys worked so hard today to control the game all day. Certainly just dropped off the pace now.
So Gatto with the last kick of the match. And starts it right. It stays right. And that final margin ends at 38 points. And Centrals march into a second semi-final appointment with a 18-16-124 to 13-8-86 victory over what was a very disappointing North Adelaide.
Certainly was very disappointing. That man, Andrew Jarman, would certainly be extremely disappointed with that effort. He's got a great running team, and when they're flying, they're hard to stop. But Central District showed today, if you put the hard body on them and close it down, play man-on-man football, and then work hard when you've got the football, you can stop the run of North Adelaide. And you stop that run, they haven't got a lot left to go with that after that.
And Mo Soderstrom with Adrian Wilson, one of the better players on the ground.
Yes, he certainly was. A man who rebounded very well from half-back. Adrian, one of the few players who haven't been around. You've, of course, been in Victoria when Central won all their flags, but you're starting to get a taste for it.
Oh, it's good to be back here. I played junior for the year and be part of the boys there. They've been through it last few years, and just get a taste for the first finals over here is great.
Now, you had a big role today looking after Campbell at times and also Matty Creek, but you managed to sneak down and kick a goal yourself.
Yeah, a bit of luck, got down and fell on my lap in the end. So, I mean, forward line put a bit of pressure on, and so the midfield, so it made it easy for us backs to get on top.
And some of the magic from Dad with the goal king. I know he won the goal king a few times here at Central.
Yeah, I wish I had the magic beat, but I'm more of a back liner, so yeah, stick with that.
Good on you, mate. You played very well today, and good luck next week.
Thanks, mate. Ta.
Adrian Wilson, his father Wilbur, a couple of times won the goal kicking at the Central District Football Club. Very much Central boy. You look at North Adelaide in a huddle, still out within the centre square. That's where their captain, Darryl Wintle, you see they're just having words to them, and they would be strong words, I would have thought.
Well, they certainly would be. They earned themselves a double chance, so now they've got to just bounce back next week. There's no use getting too down on yourself. They've got to try. They know when they play fast-running football and they're controlling the footy, they are a hard team to stop. So they've just got to be confident now and bounce back, but they've certainly learned a lesson today from Central Districts, and it will be interesting to see how they go, bouncing back against South Adelaide, who are pretty confident.
Well, as we know, I quoted that stat earlier, that of all, since the introduction to the top five, the only one qualifying final loser has gone on to win the premiership, and that was Sturt way back in 1976. It didn't start that badly for North Adelaide. It was close and it was tight in the opening quarter. Nick Gill managed to kick a goal for them early.
Yeah, he was good all day, Gill. I think he's just a hard man to match up with. He's very agile, and he's a good marking player, good when it gets down on the ground. But he's a hard man to match up on there. Also Sullivan there, he was dangerous all day too for Central Districts. And Alloway there finishing off with the goal. Not too many highlights for North Adelaide, but Central District certainly had plenty of contributors up forward, and no more than this man and Shell. Read the ball beautifully, took some great grabs, got his first couple of goals, which sets it up for him as a big day out.
A couple of lead changes in the opening quarter, and at the 23-minute mark when Lee Westhoff kicked a goal, it was Central District taking over basically after that. 4-2 in the second term to lead by 26 points at half-time.
Chris and James Gowans, I thought they were both fantastic. It's just the style of footy they love playing, and they do it to a T. Just that tough, hard, aggressive football. Westhoff kicking the goal there. They didn't have a passenger all day.
No, undoubtedly they just got better and better, and then eased up through the final 15 minutes or so. As we look there, as I said, 11 points at quarter time, 26 at half time, stretched to 54 points at three-quarter time. Maybe they saved a little bit of face in the end, the Roosters, but it was still 38 points the final margin.
Certainly was, and the Shell, fantastic game, 5 goals. Westhoff a couple, McCabe a couple late in the game, which was great. Gill, we said, was the main contributor for North Adelaide, and Alloway came in late in the game as well. Howard tried hard all day, but certainly apart from that, it dropped off. Hudson was a great contributor as well.
And through the statistics, and inevitably, regardless of how you look at the statistics, the game was dominated by the Dogs because of their efficiency around the ball.
Absolutely, they absolutely starved North Adelaide of all opportunities. Look at the inside 50, 71-46. Shows how much Central's dominated the game and probably should have gone on and won by more.
right in the box with a grip at Central's. Come on, mate, you'll find the striving. Teamwork is the thing that talks. 4, 3, 2, 1 for all and all for one. So where we play Centrals, we are the mighty fighting dogs.
Well, joining me now is the coach, the victorious coach of Central District Footy Club. Now, Roy, notice today a lot of tackling, a lot of good one-percenters, which I know you love, the way you played footy. Back to the best of Central District.
Yeah, well, that's the way you got to play finals. We thought probably over the last couple of weeks we hadn't done as well as what we'd like. So, you know, we look at the stats and probably think they kicked the ball out on the full maybe 6 or 7 times, and that comes through pressure and right through across the side there. They were great at it.
It's been a tough season. Has it been your most challenging, given the fact that you did lose a lot of players at the start and you've had to introduce some new faces?
Yeah, but like educating young blokes isn't challenging. Like, you enjoy that side of it, and I thought a few of them stood up really well today. Mussolino, Wilson, Hayes, and Chad O'Sullivan, his final for the club. They were all great.
Is it fair to say, Laddie, probably you know what you're always going to get from your good players that have been here for a while, but it was going to be the performance of these newer players that really judge how the season would go?
Probably. They're a pretty proud group of senior players, and no, they were switched on all week. They were ready for this.
Laddie, congratulations. Good luck next week.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Roy Laird maintaining a perfect record as a coach in finals. 7 wins, no losses.
It's not a bad record, is it? And, you know, I think they can go a long way this final series on looking at today's result as well.
Absolutely. Well, recapping earlier this afternoon, North Adelaide now faced the task of taking on South Adelaide. They won by 16 points in an elimination final over Port Adelaide. That was a game to remember.
It was a great game of football. It was a lot more free-flowing. You had both teams that were attacking, playing good football, actually, and Port Adelaide tried hard all day, and Jeremy Clayton, he's an absolute superstar and will be certainly hot favourite for the McGarry medal again. He played a great game. Port worked hard all day just to try to stop South's run as well, but then they also ran pretty well. Michael Hanby kicked a couple of goals and was a handy player for South Adelaide. In the end, South Adelaide's run was just a little bit too much for Port. They couldn't go with them in the end, and South put away to have a good win.
5 goals in the second half for Port, 11 in the first half, 5 in the second. South Adelaide, in contrast, 11 goals in the second half. They really did streak away.
Port got out to, I think it was about a 40-point lead at some stage there in the second quarter, and it looked like that they could go all the way. But South Adelaide, we knew that they could come back with this heat today. I thought that might take it out of Port Adelaide. So they did very well, South, to come on and get a good win.
38 points was the final margin. Let's hear how they celebrated. Blue and White's very happy with their victory today. Ricky McGowan, who is an assistant coach of the Eagles, is with Michael Maney. And Michael, I'm sure Ricky has seen some interesting footy from Centrals.
Yeah, I reckon he did, Neil. Ricky, looks like the Dogs are back in the game.
Yeah, certainly. They were fantastic today. They really shut down North's running game, and they were disciplined, super disciplined game all day. And, yeah, they're going to be tough to beat.
What sort of week has it been for the Eagles?
Yeah, no, it's been just business as usual with a big day training this morning. They played a scratch match and some hard running, so yeah, looking forward to the clash.
No injury problems?
No, not at all. Actually, there's a few guys to come back into the squad, so it's going to be a hard decision on the selection table.
Centrals look like they're real back in the caper today. It was finals football and they put their bodies on the line. You'd know all about that. You've played with them. That they've lifted another notch now, haven't they?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you just had to watch today. You can see why they've dominated finals for some time. They just stay on line, hard at the contest, and yeah, they'll be difficult to beat.
Thanks, Ricky. Big game next week. Good luck.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Yes, we look forward to what's coming up on ABC TV next Sunday afternoon from 1:30. Another great double-header in prospect. The first semi-final, the knockout final between North Adelaide and South Adelaide. And then that's followed by the second semi-final between the Eagles and Central District. This afternoon, it was South Adelaide by 16 points, eliminating Port Adelaide. And then Central District by 38, putting down the challenge of North Adelaide. Thanks, and hope you enjoyed what were a couple of beaut matches. Really, really good football, and look forward to more of the same in week 2 of the finals.